Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Hello. And playing in the background.
Yeah.
Singing Sweet Dreams. Yes, singing Annie Lennox's song. Yeah, he was just hanging out with us. No, everybody can write in and say, "Look, you should be glad I didn't play first place. Even I couldn't take it."
AC/DC or Led Zeppelin, one of these shows.
It was. We played Led Zeppelin last week, man. Yeah. Second or third show.
Our personality.
It's Look, y'all should be glad. If I picked the songs, we'd be just listening to Sandman every week. So it's just be fucking grateful.
I picked some weird ones.
Like Duhats, one or the other. I like Duhats. Fuck you, we're people. I'm sorry. Anyways.
Look what's happened, man, since we were here last. You know, the hospital.
I heard Trump was impregnated by an exterrestrial. Yes. That's
again?
Hey, Mr. Wojo, good to see you, sir.
Wojo. What's up, Wojo, Hojo, Mojo, man? All right. I can't see because I have no idea where the hell the chat room is at the moment.
I see it.
Where's the chat? Oh, there's a chat. There's a bloody chat.
Joe Biden.
Everybody can see it.
Welcome to the Aussie version of news.
Man, he's my friend.
Wrong button. Wrong button.
Hello, Wojo, Hojo, Mojo. Booga. Ain't that how you did it on Doctor Who?
Yeah. They used all kinds of.
Oh, there I am. All right, I'm back. All right. Welcome. Well, hey there.
I don't see you, man. I see you.
I see Steven over there. What's up? Happy Steven Day, man. Hope you're enjoying the day.
I see Joe. I don't see Joe.
I see Joe.
I don't see
Joe. Name in the background.
I see Joe.
I don't see you, Joe.
No,
I do. Don't worry about it. If I see me, the world sees me. I can't help it with you weirdos. But what's up, there, Jackie? Yeah, I know, baby. I can see me just fine. Yeah. Well, because the camera's right there, we can always see ourselves.
I don't see.
No, we're gonna be talking about. Well, first we're gonna be talking about. I'm glad that they're not having an inauguration in subarctic temperatures. Let me sit outside and keep my, put my hand over my things all day
long. On Monday, and I'm an hour north of Washington D.C. 5 degrees. 5 degrees. That's not the low. That's the high for the afternoon. 5 degrees Fahrenheit is the high predicted for the.
That's what we're getting on Tuesday. That's what we're getting on Tuesday, Jay. 5.
Yeah, we're getting -2 on Tuesday. Or we were. I think it's gone up to 2. So
I fucking wonder why I live in the South. Jesus, -2.
The state of the South begins at Maryland, which is 15 minutes that way.
Well, didn't Florida get covered by snow?
Yeah, we still have snow on us. Yeah.
No, Florida.
Oh no.
Oh, they're gonna be. We're gonna get.
This week, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna. Tuesday night, it's gonna snow. It's gonna snow from early Tuesday morning until it's gonna snow about 8 or 10 hours. Yeah, so we'll get between 2 and 4 inches. That's all we're gonna get, and nobody's gonna go outside. Everybody will go out in the yard. Nobody's going driving anywhere.
Oh man!
And they ain't doing it. But see, the difference for us is we're gonna get 4 inches with 90% humidity.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it'll be gone in about 2 hours.
You know what, Joe?
It's like a slop ball.
Hold my.
Oh man, look! 40 below up there is about 25 up here. Down here, that's the difference. Is the little girl from Alaska put all y'all Yankees to shame the other day. She comes out, she's out there, she's playing in Alaska. She's in short pants, short shirts, running around. It's like
you talking about the little blonde girl?
She's out there with a husky. So she goes. So she's in New Orleans, and the guy's going, "Why you all bundled up?" He goes, "Because it's fucking cold." And he said, "What do you mean? What kind?" She said, "Oh, it's only like 30, and it is fucking cold." She said, "I don't get it." And the other girl says, "You ever heard of humidity? Because it's different. All your clothes are wet." So if that wind's blowing, you'll never get warm. You can't get warm in your clothes because they stay wet from the humidity. So all you get is a cold blast of ass going through you all the time. It just fucking sucks is what it does. Unfortunately for us, we have humidity in the wintertime and we have humidity in the summertime, and it makes the winters colder and the summers hotter. But that's what God created a heater for.
My beer.
I don't drink, man. I'm sorry. The only thing I drink is hard liquor, man.
You get up for work. Roseanne says, "Jay,
hey, Roseanne, how you doing?"
Yeah, that's right around the corner. That's like 45 minutes, an hour. That's not far away at all.
I got family in Martinsburg.
Yeah.
Besides, people down here think anybody who lives above the Mason-Dixon line is retarded, right? Y'all know that, right? We're kind of like,
I grew up in Maryland.
We're kind of like,
everybody below the Mason.
I just live up here because I know my retirement won't be taxed.
We got all the food and all the money. It's nice and quiet down here.
Everybody down below the Mason-Dixon line are 9 fries short of a Happy Meal.
They're 2 fries short of a Happy Meal, actually.
No, 9.
But it's
nice. Or they're 1 fry short of a Cracker Jack, whatever, however you want to look
Actually,
at it.
no, all they need is 1 fry down here. We don't eat them greasy, nasty McDonald's fries down here.
Oh, God, no. Wendy's actually has
better fries. See, and that's another thing. So they're banned in Europe and they're banned in the South. The only people who eat them nasty things. No, the fries. They can't use that shit in the fries that y'all get up north. They can't use that down here. It's against the law. And they haven't been allowed GMOs down here for almost since they came out, pretty much. We like to stay healthy, man. We want to live to be old so we can aggravate them damn Yankees.
Way better than any other French fries than anybody on the planet.
So they can run away from the Bigfoot and the cryptids down there in the swamps and shit.
Oh man, you ain't been to Sabine? If you want to go Bigfoot hunting, you come down to Sabine River Basin and they'll take you out there and show you some shit. There's actually several groups that work out of that one area, man. It's right there at the Texas Louisiana state line. It's called the Sabine River Basin down there, and it runs right through Orange County. It's a big fucking swamp, is what it is, and there's a lot of people working. I mean, it's a big swamp. You get lost in it easy. But no, they have several big Bigfoot groups down there. That's all they do is track Bigfoot. And every time I get invited, I say, "Can I bring my gun?"
Find Bigfoot.
They got lots of pictures of them, hairs, all kind of Bigfoot shit.
No, I'm talking about find them, man. I don't want to see pictures. I want to see like.
I seen this kid up there. Looked like he might be a hybrid. He might got one of them local girls.
That guy right there is one of the best Bigfoot hunters up in Massachusetts, Mr. Wojo, right there.
Unless they have one. Then they're not hunters. They're nothing. They're wannabes, right? I mean, unless they have one, I want to see it in my face, man. I want that Bigfoot.
Well, I ask them all the time if I can come. They always tell me no because they're scared I'm going to cook it or something.
Because it all started with a bunch of BS, man. So I mean,
nobody likes to take me hunting because I will cook anything in the field right then and there. I'm really good at that.
But I'm saying, if you're gonna be I have pictures of ghosts. I found some stuff. You know what I mean? I can't explain what the hell they are, so I'm going to go with what
all of us are researchers, so we're all going to have some stuff that we've managed to accumulate over the years.
By spirits and all kinds of stuff.
We don't want to know about you being touched by spirits now.
Never seen a Bigfoot, or even known anybody who's really.
But you know what? Being on this platform, Michael. Honestly, I have talked. I've been on almost over 5 years now, and I've talked to a lot of Bigfoot people.
There's a lot on here too.
Yeah, and it's like I believe it, but I'm like,
TikTok there. But you know what? There are hunters out there that get anything and anything, man. They need to get that Bigfoot. They need to get or whatever the hell it is.
I'm just kind of lucky is it being able to having seen the creature so early on in my paranormal experiences, but all I can say is that it exists. That's all I can say. You can't say I'm wrong. You can't say I'm right.
This, man.
You see the same kind of creature I do.
Let's just talk common sense. Let's talk common sense. Not people's fantasy.
No, it's one at a time. I'll give him my ear.
Let's talk common sense. Zoologically, you need a community, no matter what species, animal, or nothing, for them to survive. A community, which means you need more than one. And then
Same thing goes for Mbembe and like
if they were that active, people would know about it. People would know about it.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I don't think they're time traveling with the big woolly mammoth coat.
No, I don't think they're time traveling either.
It ain't Chewbacca. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Thank you. They're not Chewbacca.
So, but all I'm saying is that, in my scientific brain, I want to see something. I want to see. If I had done a ghost hunting and nothing happened, I'd be like, I wouldn't say it'd be BS, but I'd say I didn't have the experiences.
All right, Michael, I have a question for you, man.
That's right. Tell him, Sean. God damn it.
Here's the deal. What would you do if you saw a Bigfoot? What would you do if he came right up to your face?
Got that AR-15. Now, people ask you, why do you have...
I don't know, Sean. Have you ever seen Mike? He's like 6'6", 6'7", 350. He is a Bigfoot, man. He is a fucking Bigfoot, man.
When they start coming at you, you know what I mean? But Bigfoot, dude. You know what? I'd whip out a sandwich. A big freaking Italian sub with some gabagool, man. I'd be like, Bigfoot, gabagool, gabagool. And Bigfoot would be like, he'd be pooping on his. And I'd be like, look, I got Bigfoot. I throw a net over his ass and then lock him in my bathroom.
Lock him in your bathroom.
Yeah, man. Call 911. I got Bigfoot. Ooh. Come on, man. I get a sample of hair, some stuff. I would have by the time he leaves.
Oh, listen, Mike, he's losing his mind. Just ignore his ass. Just ignore his ass. He's losing his mind. We got all kinds of stuff to talk to. But I don't even know how the fuck we got on Bigfoot. We got all kinds of stuff to talk to. No, I'm telling you, Michael looks like a Bigfoot. You ever see some bitch? He's Bigfoot might see him and go, "Oh shit, we're going the other way, man. What the hell is this?"
Just like a Bigfoot.
15. You know what that
Scare his ass out in the bayou. Actually, you know what, Gene? Real quick before we go, technically, in the bayou, they're not Bigfoot. They're skunk apes or something.
Okay.
Different parts of the country, they call them different things.
That? They smell like the skunk ape.
Down there in New Orleans, they call them rogaroos.
No, rougaroos they call those further down in the bayou, which we ain't gonna talk about because it might come get all four of us. You don't fuck with the rougaroo. Rougaroo is mythical. Rougaroo ain't no damn Bigfoot. Rougaroo is Satan's guy scratches Satan's ass. Yeah, we don't be leaving him alone. But technically, he's supposed to be the ones that runs the South American things.
Well, let me ask you, let's get off the topic here for a minute of Bigfoot, and let's go into Monday. A lot of Democrats aren't going to go. The conspiracy actor is that something's going to happen really big during the inauguration.
Yeah, Bigfoot's going to show up. It's going to screw the whole thing up.
No, they moved it indoors.
Bigfoot's going to streak right through there.
Well, when it was outdoors, it was more vulnerable. That's for sure.
True.
Yeah, without question.
True.
So being indoors, it's going to make it a little bit safer, make it a little warmer.
They're also predicting that it's going to be like 5 degrees as the high temperature during the day on Monday. So
yeah, they updated last. Well, with the wind chill, with the wind chill, it's going to be around 22, 21. But they said with the wind chill, it's going to be between 5 and 10 degrees. It's you don't want to be sitting out there in that shit.
You know what?
Trump the breath on your beard will freeze.
I mean, look what he's done, man. Look at his accomplishments already. I don't even like the guy, but I have to admit he's done a hell of a lot. He's not even in office yet. You know what I mean?
Got a lot. While we're on that, so I'll find a clip after a while. But so I'm listening to the news today. Blah 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 blah. And they're talking to this guy from Hamas, right? Blah blah blah. He said, "Well, what was the number one thing you thought that made this happen?" The guy looked up. He said, "Trump was elected." I mean, just dead-eyed, serious look like, oh no, because Trump was, and we all know that that's what Hamas leaders said the day Trump was elected. We want to end this, and then so she's asking other people, and I said, and then she's asking people in the street, and the guy, and they're like, no, it's Mr. Trump. So he just made a lot of friends in the Middle East. I don't think he knows about.
It's amazing that Joe Biden took credit. Amazing that Joe Biden took credit. Freaking amazing.
You knew he was going to take credit for it. Me and what's pencil neck? We pencil neck and we did so. Oh yeah, we brokered a peace deal in the Middle East. Yeah, with the Arabs. Well, no, we did it with God with the Palestinians. But
you see how Hunter Thompson's claiming millions of bucks that his paintings went up in fire. So they're trying to bilk the insurance companies out of millions, man. Amazing, huh? There you go. Another amazing thing about the Biden family. So it's worth
Got
doing.
it, got it. Oh, so I did hear something interesting from a top Democrat today. He's a top lawyer with the Democrats. He's one of their big donors. He said that he thinks some of what Biden did borderlines on treason, or frankly, just that his mental facilities are so far gone that some of this may be able to be repealed by dragging him into court and proving that his mental facilities were in question when he made these decisions.
Or he acted under duress.
Oh, I was like, oh, well, that sounds very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know where Trump's going to go. Trump's got a lot of options. Itching nose. Trump's got a lot of options where he can go.
And he's a smart man with a lot of money and plenty of time on his hands. Plenty of time on
Pam Bundy, they asked Pam Bundy if she was going to have a punch-out list, a criminal list to go after for Donald Trump. She said no. And they said, well, what about Weasel Boy? What's his name?
Schiff.
No, not Schiff. No, the other one, the one that was trying to get him for election interference and shit for when he was hiding the records and stuff. What the hell is this guy's name? I'm talking about him all the time, but I can't think of his name. He's the prosecutor. I don't know why, and none of us get. We've been talking about this guy for weeks. The guy who brought the charges against Donald Trump and got the indictment. Who knows his name?
Alvin Bragg.
No, that's the one in New York, but that's a good one. But that's the one in New York. I'm talking to one who just quit his job and closed the case. Jack Smith. Thank you. God, it was driving me bleeping crazy. Well, she said she hasn't ruled out looking into his information and where did it come from and what was his participation with Fannie Mae up there in Georgia and with the guys in D.C. and the guys in Florida.
Yeah.
He thinks the four were talking. She thinks the four were talking pretty steady. We know from the case in Georgia that she did talk to him. So we know that for sure. And it looks like they may have been talking to your boy up in New York. That's all highly illegal, people. Oh, yeah, they can go to jail for that. So we'll see where all of that goes. And she's going to be interesting to watch. She's having a hard time, though, with her confirmation. They're not just giving it to her. She's having to fight for it. Even though Paul Ryan, but we love you, Paul Ryan. Yeah, Democrats are come on in, dude. Democrats, bring that idiot in here. Yeah, I mean, he's not even having a hiccup, but she's way qualified for the job, and they're giving her nothing but shit. I was like, come on, you're not going to get anybody better than that.
They're afraid of her, dude.
They should be.
Afraid of her.
Yeah, they should be scared of her because I'm thinking she's going to ghost after some people. She's going to be like, okay, man, who was here and who was because they want to prove, and I know Trump wants to badly. They want to prove that this was politically motivated. All these charges against him. He really wants to prove it.
Yeah.
And by doing so, sorry. Well, by doing so, he justifies him going after the whole Democratic Party. This is enough, along with a couple other things that the Democrats got to face here in the next year, that could destroy their party. They may have to rebrand themselves as a new party and start from the ground up. They're losing people daily. Every day I'm reading about somebody left the party. A lot of them are low level. A lot of them are people in like the state senates and houses. They're swapping sides and stuff. Look at Fetterman. The Democrats came down on Fetterman like a ton of bricks because they're saying he might as well be. Yeah, they said he might as well be a Republican.
Really?
And,
What did he say to that?
He ain't switching, but
he's strictly Democrat. But
for now,
but he's attacking Democrats daily.
Man, he's fair. And I'll tell you about Fetterman. Sorry, Joe, but I'll tell you about him. He took a town in Pittsburgh and changed it almost overnight.
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Oh,
he is well loved here in Pittsburgh for what it was called Braddock, little town borough called Braddock. And when he took it over, I mean, he worked on both sides of the aisle, if you want to say Republicans and Democrats. And what I liked him a lot when they interviewed him, and he said, "Yeah, I am a Democrat, and I'm working for the people of Pennsylvania." I'm not working. You know what I mean?
We're mostly Republican.
It don't matter. He's still working for him.
I know that's the thing. Yeah.
And the Democrats. And I'm sorry, Joe, for interrupting me like that.
No, you're right. You're right. Mike, turn something down. Speaker, mic, something. I'm hearing weird noises.
Me?
Yeah, it's just like air rushing over something or something. What does that sound like, Joe? It's weird
Air.
sound. Oh, there he goes. Whatever you muted it or something. Whatever stopped that.
Microphone.
Yeah. It's
You heard it
just picking. Yeah, it's just picking it up. It must be the gain's too high or something.
Yeah, you might be getting some sort of a loop.
Ooh,
How about that?
I am the mean one. So here, that's it.
Or is it me?
As long as you got a what? No, I hear it when we're both hearing it, so it's coming from there.
Yeah, it's not me.
You hear it now?
It's lower, but I can still hear it. So it just sounds like I mean, it's not horrible or anything. It's almost like an open can or something. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I said a bunch of questions over there. I see stuff over here. So before we even get into back to Trump, what about this new guy in Canada? He sounds a lot like Trump. He sounds like you know what, and he's pissed. Yeah, he does sound like that. We hear Rove at the funding thing in some big whopping limousine. Everybody's pissed. He goes strutting up. I'm the man. I'm just like the people, man. Drops out in his 3-piece beautiful suit, nice shoes, all clean cut, big old limo. People holding the door open, basically wiping his ass as he goes by. I'm just like you, people. I'm just like you. Yeah, whatever.
Which is just like everybody else. Both veto, both times.
But he does sound like an ass, and he's pissed because if the liberals would have opened up the pipelines east and west, he wouldn't have had to suck up to Trump. Because then he could have sold their natural gas off and still sold their gas here, but sold their natural gas off to Europe, and I made it easier. But the liberals cut all that out, so they're screwed. So the only partner they really got right now is us. But it's not that it's not like the United States wants the money from them. The United States just wanted them to cut off the fentanyl. Just control your borders. That's all we're asking for. Just stop it. You need to control them anyway. From what I hear from the Canadian citizens, there's terrorists living all up in the country.
Come on. I mean, in Canada and Mexico's defense, we've had traditionally democratic viewpoints on the border, where none of the current laws that are in effect have even been enforced, period, for decades. So that's on our leaders. That's on our federal leaders, not just the state level, but the federal.
You would have thought after 9/11, after the whole country was shocked that the terrorists came from Canada, everybody's like, "Wait, what?"
Especially after
that. Everybody was like, "What do you mean the terrorists came from Canada? They didn't come from Mexico. No, they came from Canada." Everybody's like, "Damn."
Yeah.
Caught everybody off guard. But really and truly, in their cases, they infiltrated. They were here for 4 years before they did anything. I don't know what it would have mattered where they come from.
For at various times over a 4 or 8 year period, each of them for several years at a time, learning how to pilot,
fly and stuff. Yeah, they were going to flight school.
67s, I think, was the biggest ones they were flight testing on.
It was well planned. It was well executed. We got our asses kicked, and then we just wiped out 3 countries over it. Just should tell the world it doesn't pay to piss us off. And Putin's learning that right now, because Trump was basically saying, "Look, Zelensky, this war is going to end. So it may take us 4 or 5 months, but this war is going to end." And he's basically telling Putin, "You're not getting everything that you want. It's just not going to happen." Well, Putin, listen, I don't think Putin's going to have a choice, because if the U.S. decides to go full out sanctions with Europe, and then tells China
or terrorists, yeah. I mean,
well, no, I mean, if we go full out sanctions on them, they're pretty much in a shithole. And if we turn around, look at China and say, "Well, look, if you don't sanction them, we're going to sanction you," they're done. That's their only other customer without us. So, I mean, they're pretty much done. And China's not going to go. China will go against the U.S. or the EU, but they're not going to go against both. They just can't do it. It puts them too deep in debt.
Even if they trade with Russia, the two of them will eventually peter out.
Yeah, well, they're just not enough. I mean, right now,
that's what I'm saying. The two of them probably sustain each other for a couple of extra years and hang on for a bit while we just pummel their economies with good intentions, and eventually they'll both collapse.
Well, no, Larry. So what Jay's saying. So China has a working relationship with China and with Iran and a couple other countries, and then with
some of the ex-Russian countries as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And then they have a working relationship. They are selling stuff to the EU and the US. Now, not like they used to, because between COVID and a few other things, we've kind of curtailed them, which is why China's having a hard time keeping up financially wise. Because the US kind of and Europe kind of said, oh no. So right now, if one of them was to quit, like the US just said, okay, we're not going to give you any more money, they could still make enough money off of Europe and their other ones to at least keep their heads above water. Not to make any major leaps, but to stay above water. But if Europe says that we're going to side with the United States, they're in deep trouble. And then China's going to be like, okay, so either it comes to you either have to turn around and go back and say, okay, we're going to side with you, or go ahead and start World War III, because there's only two ways
We've been
out
able
of
to
that.
successfully, as a government, collapse at least one government's economy. That was Russia. We've seen the effects of that. Right now, two of their former countries are at war with each other. We can do the same thing to China. It will take, like I said,
China's on the verge.
What if Russia and China, start partnering up and have a trade agreement with each other when we sanction them from Russia or from Europe and America? They'll survive an extra maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 5 years, but it will eventually collapse, just like we did to Russia. Russia's been through that kind of collapse already once. I'm sure they don't want to do it again. China hasn't experienced that from us yet. They don't want to experience that.
Yeah, but wait, what? Oh no, yeah, but no. Okay, Chris, I know what you're saying, but that was It was before World War II, or at the beginning of World War II. All them people are dead, or if they're not dead, they probably don't even remember.
They're so old.
The people alive in China today have really not experienced anything like that. They're at least 600 million of them are living a much healthier, happier, better life.
Seen how bad the war was as it was in World War II.
But China, one thing that proves
needs us to buy their crap.
No, yeah, they do. They need us and Europe.
Don't care about it.
They need us and Europe.
We have the money to buy China crap.
Parts of Asia as well.
54% of all their exports come to the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, China had it made. We were buying from them. Europe was buying from them. They were buying from Russia, even after Trump said don't buy from Russia. But China was really rising. Its military was rising. Its power was rising. Trump was a little worried about it. But it wasn't until they decided, okay, well, we're going to be the new power. We're going to take over the money. We're going to do this. And then the U.S. said, well, excuse me, no, you're not. We're $36 trillion a year economy. You're like 11. No, you're not. And we just pulled the rug out from underneath them and said no. And then COVID came along and kicked them into kahunas while we were pulling the rug out. And then we told Europe stop buying so much, and we stopped buying so much. And then Europe got scared they might get COVID from it. It bought even less. They're just now getting back to where they can start buying. And China's trying to feel its way around in Europe, maybe to buy a car dealership here, buy out like Volkswagen or something like that, maybe build cars in Germany. They're trying to get their EVs on the street. And the sad part is their electric cars are about a third of the price of the ones you get in the United States. Quality, I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I knew what the quality was. I know China keeps saying they're up in their quality, but until you actually see it, you don't know. I know I wouldn't buy Chinese TV.
You don't see, because when I got hired on at the Home Depot at the age of 46, and I started in the garden center, but eventually moved to electronics. So where I sold light bulbs and all that kind of thing. So this was like the very beginning heyday of the Amazon Prime thing, 10, 12 years ago or whatever. God, it was not that far back. Wow. But anyway, people would come into the electric department, looking to, they wanted to convert a lamp that they'd brought over that they really liked in their house in Europe, or something they bought on Amazon that came from China. And it's like, they had these really weird bulbs. And like, I'm sorry, but you can't, that won't work on our system, our American electrical system. It's different than the Chinese system. Yep. If you even get the right light bulbs, you'll have to get them from China. And if you do wire that to your house, I would recommend you don't, because that Chinese electric device could cause your house to burn into a cinder.
Yeah, you have to convert it now. The converters for the U.S. to Europe are pretty good these days.
Yeah.
So
but the other way around isn't always so good.
Yes, and I don't know about converting. I know China prefers that you get your electronics while you're there. It helps their market and it stabilizes. I've heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, because you don't realize until you get back to America that the bulb that goes in that thing they don't make for American electrical systems.
Now you can buy a charger block when you get there that fits your C or A type chargers, but your block won't work while you're there. You might as well leave it at home. Even if you go to Europe, it's useless. Yeah, it's just pick up a block. You're going to pay $5, or in China it's going to be probably like 96 cents or something. But you can pick one up while you're there and use it that way. But I wouldn't even recommend the USP. If you were an American, I wouldn't recommend you traveling in China right now. And as far as BRICS goes,
I would not go to any Asian country at this time, or Middle East.
yeah. So the Saudis are finding out the hard way about BRICS. Maybe they shouldn't have got involved with it.
About what? Drax?
Yeah, no, the BRICS, the European, the the new going to be the new security. It's going to take over, replace the United States as a security.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so yeah. Now Brexit is the thing where they left it from Europe to England.
England left the European.
Yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about it's Britain, it's China, it's Saudi Arabia, Turkey.
It's Brazil.
Oh, I meant Russia anyway, and it is Brazil. Yeah, but yeah, so there's like 7 countries that their money's going to go together. So U.S. isn't the dollar isn't the money in Saudi Arabia anymore. This money is. So their money, their economy, instead of being based on U.S. dollar like most of the world, there's I think 160 countries. They're now based on this new money. I think China's finding out with having Russia on there, it's just sucking them down. Their money's worth nothing. Having Saudi Arabia on there would help them a little bit, but Saudi, now that Trump's back, is thinking, oh shit, because they didn't think Trump was coming back. You know, the Saudi king and princess going, Trump.
China owns a third of our reserves, so they start driving down the price of the American dollar. They screw themselves too. I mean, it's kind of interesting how the whole thing is interconnected.
Well, they own a third of our credit card reserve, not our actual money. People get confused on that. You're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to sell. Okay, you're not allowed to sell U.S. debt, actual debt from the government outside of the country. That compromises your government, and they can use that against you. But you are allowed to sell the hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars of credit card debt that the United States holds. So the United States allows people to buy this debt and make these huge, because I mean, what is it? What is the interest rate on a credit card right now? 30%, 35%?
29.5%, something like that. Yeah,
so
30, 35.
Now these other companies overseas to buy this debt, and they're making a shitload of money over plus fees and late fees and whatever else, and whatever they can collect in cash, because they're buying the debt low and just collecting. That's basically what they're doing, and the U.S. allows that. But as far as actual securities debt, no, we can't allow that, because that would be like, oh, well, we'll collapse your economy and you're screwed. No, we're not giving you that option, buddy. You can forget that fucking shit. Well, China couldn't be trusted, Jamie. No, we couldn't trust China holding the debt that runs the country. The money we borrow against, which is basically Social Security. See, that's what another thing people don't understand. When they say we borrow money, we're not borrowing money from other countries. We're borrowing money from us. Technically, we're borrowing it from our great-grandchildren. That's who we're borrowing. It used to be from our children. That's from our great-grandchildren.
It comes from everybody who works. It's anybody who becomes of the age to retire. That money is you paid into it from your income to pay yourself in your retirement when you don't work, or don't work as much or as often.
That's why they're always telling you that Social Security is going to collapse because of the debt, but that's not quite how it works.
So let me share this with you. All right.
As long as Democrats are like dipping into the Social Security, till, I think we'll be okay.
Let's get off treasuries and let's get off money. Let's talk about the left, man. So the left is now more unpopular in the world than any time since the Cold War.
Oh, I can just imagine that, man.
Aren't they insane? I mean, a lot of people are just now beginning to wake up to that. I mean,
a whole world. I mean, think about what they do, and think about how they affect people. Now they negatively affect people, I mean, but they don't care, do they? What their agenda is, I really don't know. Because it doesn't make any sense. There's no common sense behind it. But I know woke is dead. Woke is dead, and they're trying to hold on, aren't they? They're trying to grip. You've seen it on television. You've seen it in the movies. They're trying to hold on, man, to bare life. And what happens when they try to hold on? The freaking whole Hollywood burns down. You know what I mean? Like it's horrible what's happening out there. It's getting worse. There's like power plants on fire now, whatever. But it's weird
Has anybody verified if that one in California was on fire?
I'm saying it's weird. You got these mansions that burn down, houses. What? The vegetation's still there, but the houses burned down. The whole thing is weird, man. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit. The fire is weird to start off with.
And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about, is it, did the state and/or city of Los Angeles want to intentionally destroy these areas in furtherance of building the city back to the way they wanted to make it, like it is in the 28 or 2030. The most advanced.
I think it's dumb bummers. I think it's dumb bummers. I think they're all a bunch of corrupt bastards, and they only cared about stuff in their pockets with cash. They weren't thinking about firemen. They were thinking about hiring people that didn't belong in those jobs. And then look what happened. This is the exact result of irresponsibility. That's what this is. These are irresponsible people who don't know what they're doing. They never knew what they were doing, and they were elected because
I agree with that 100%. And I do believe some of these people are going to end up in deep shit.
Look at the mayor. Look at the mayor. She's already up. They were talking charges.
I think she's already getting
for corruption and
this point.
All the stuff she's involved in and whatever, man. And they've been following her for years. But you're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to criticize people like that because they're going to call you. You hate women.
You can today.
How convenient is it for her to be?
Going to say about you?
Well, how convenient is it for her to be in Paris, France? Kowtowing with the mayor of France, Paris, France, when this stuff erupts, and she doesn't come back right away. It's almost like it was planned, like a planned event. Let me get out of town first, and then all of a sudden,
she was
Hollywood.
So they said she was in Africa. And they say she took a military flight back to the United States so she could get here faster.
I don't care if she was.
And then would not answer a question when she got off the airplane.
The budget for that fire department. I care about her not caring about Los Angeles and just trying to.
She cut the budget. Newsom cut the budget.
That's right.
So they're all going to be in trouble for that. And then where's this woman who makes $750,000 a year, who's in charge of the hydrants and keeping the reservoirs filled that nobody can seem to find? And no one can explain why the reservoirs were empty during fire season.
Corruption, stealing.
And wait, so then I hear firemen today go, "Oh, there's no way that we could have kept this under control, y'all." So I'm thinking, there's just not enough water. And I'm thinking, you fucking dumbass, why don't you turn around and look behind you? There's a whole cocksucking ocean out there.
They've been using it.
Okay. So down here in wealthy rural areas, they put these little things into the water because they don't put fire hydrants in, and they just use the water out the bayous or out the Gulf or whatever. So if you would have had one of them every 50 feet or every 150 feet along the shoreline over there, and had hoses of just 300 or 400 feet, you could have kept you would have never lost any houses on the coast, and you would have kept at least 3 or 4 rows in from the highway as well, safe. But they didn't think about that. And where are all the planes? How many of those planes are in the United States that scoop up water in fire planes? There's got to be at least 50 or 100. And I know Canada was sending some, Mexico was sending some. Where are they? I haven't even been seeing any.
That flight software I sent you, you can zip in on that area right now and watch the planes flying around. You can click on the plane, and then it'll tell you what type of plane it is and all that, But yeah, they're taking it from the ocean. I posted a video on my Facebook of those planes. Just that specific, how they're made and whatever, and they just go down, pick up the water. Really, it's amazing pilots doing that because you're taking on thousands of pounds of weight, thousands of pounds of water, then going up and dumping it and going back and forth. So, but my hat.
Well, Jack, I can't tell you what kind of pumps they got in California, but down here we have 6 and 12-inch and 24-inch round pumps that can suck a lake dry in no time at all. I don't know what they'd have out there, but we got big ones down here.
Most fire apparatus have at least a 4-inch or even a 6-inch vinyl intake, especially on the tanker types. But the tanker pumpers, they have these intakes that they can just drop into any body of water, whether it's brackish, seawater, or whatever. And then, like you said, Joe, every 100, 150 feet, they have to put another tanker.
But think about it. If you would have had hoses in the ocean. But think about it. If you had hoses in the ocean and had one of these big pumps, a 12-inch pump every, say, 50 feet or 150 feet, and just let them pump straight water into the neighborhoods, it would have pumped water. It would have been like a freaking flood in there, man. There would have been no fires. It wouldn't have been for blocks.
Yeah. Well, then you look. Then the only thing is that most of the houses would survive, but then the insurance companies would have to pay out in water and flood damage.
Oh well, they're going to pay one way or another. At least everything.
They're going to have to pay out. Yeah.
There's villages in Japan that have sprinkler systems on top of the homes, because if there's anything like that happens, they make it.
Lord knows, Michael, there's nothing better in a flood situation than sprinklers.
But you know what? It was because of corruption. It was because of this is the thing about Democrats too. In Democrat cities, they live by the skin of their teeth, bare minimum. So when a disaster happens, anything happens, they don't have the money to cover it. They think, well,
What do
the
you
federal
think?
cover it.
And why are they doing it since they get more money than anybody else does? I mean,
because you have people who become politicians that are called wannabes, and they're surrounded by rich people, and they want to be that. They want to be rich. They want that money. They want that lifestyle. They want the private plane. They want the limo and the whole bit, man. So they're corrupt people. They're going to do what they can to stuff their pockets with that money and do what they can. If you look at her administration, she's accused of all of that. Now it's all coming out because she's at the center stage. If the fire didn't happen, nobody would be talking about it. It would be business as usual. There's a lot of politicians like that, man. And there's a culture of corruption in the U.S., and we need to stop it. Now is the time to drain the swamp.
Yeah.
Get the swamp. Get the swamp.
Drain the swamp. Kiss my grits. Kiss my grits. Remember that chick?
Yeah, I remember her.
Kiss my grits.
That was Flo from Mel's Diner.
Yeah.
Kiss my grits.
Okay, so we got to go to break, so we're going to put this on for break. Y'all can listen to this while we're on the
Kiss
break.
my crawdaddy, Joe. Kiss my crawdaddy.
I don't kiss crawdaddies. I eat crawdaddies, man.
Mudbug. You don't eat something called a mudbug.
Matter of fact, I was watching this guy make a good crawfish bisque yesterday. I said, I'm going to have to give this a try. What said Janice? We will talk about that on Wednesday if I do a show. I might be off Wednesday because it's a special day. Yeah.
It's a holiday.
It's 2 days after Trump's inauguration. I need a break.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and Trump being inaugurated. It's going to be a heck of a day.
Yeah, it's going to be a good week.
Break loose, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyway, let me hold on. Y'all forgetting what I'm doing here. No, we're gonna cue this up, guys and girls, and this is just
first break.
Yes, we're this is first break. Now this isn't music or anything, so I want you to be aware of this. This is just a few people chit chatting. It's about 8 or 10 minutes, and then we'll be back from break, and y'all can tell us what
video
your
breakups of election.
This is I forgot which one this one is, but we're fixing to find out right now. So add to stage.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
I am going over to do right now, and we're going to make it bigger, and then we're going to hit play, and we'll be back, guys.
Are you Jesus Christ, you loser? Okay.
Hey, everybody, a very quick disclaimer. A majority of celebrities actually wrote down their reactions via social media. So
look at that map. Look at that map, baby.
How wild those get. But as far as celebrities, I did the best I could to make you guys laugh. Even if you don't know the celebrities, I'm sure you're going to get a good laugh out of this. So sit back, enjoy the celebrity montage meltdown.
No matter what, I know that she's probably emotional right now. I know there's probably a lot going on in her mind, and I know she's not listening to this, but she eventually will see it.
Don't blame the voters. I think, look, we could get into this discussion, but one, I think you're blaming the voters. I think that's a terrible idea. And look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
him before
and I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
You
won?
want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make
world
it
of
personal.
denial.
She thinks she's Obama. She goes to Hawaii because Obama goes to Hawaii. She started talking like Obama, imitating Obama. She is not Barack Obama. She has no talent. She can never run for president again. The progressives didn't want to go on Joe Rogan. Look, if I'm running, I'm going on Joe Rogan. I'm living on Fox. That's how you change minds.
I read your own followers' comments, and they all trashed you, every one of them, and supported me.
Yeah,
so
right.
With your personal
yeah,
attacks.
come find out again.
Make whatever point you want.
Yeah.
Don't make it personal.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
You attacked me personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only been a professor for 51 years.
On this program, I've never been able to finish a thought.
How many books have you published? No, because you're personally attacking me again.
I want to start with the scathing response that you gave after the Democrats lost, Kamala Harris lost pretty big. You said the Democrats abandoned the working class. The chairman of the DNC called it straight up BS and said Joe Biden is the most pro-worker president of my lifetime. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she disagreed with you. She added, quote, Bernie Sanders has not won. Do you stand by what you said?
Oh, absolutely. Look, Joe Biden is a friend of mine. I've been proud to work with him on an agenda which has been very strongly in favor of the working class. Biden promised to be the most progressive president since FDR. In many ways, on domestic issues, I think he kept his word. But here is the reality. The working class of this country is angry, and they have a reason to be angry.
The root of this mistake actually came very early on. They didn't run a process. They made an excuse of $317 million in the kitty. They kept the same campaign manager and said, we will anoint this faulted, broken candidate who was inconsequential in her vice presidency, lost in 2019, as you detailed, complete loser in 2020, never could articulate anything, had no compassion for people and her own advocates. Let's not forget this. I remember the minute this happened, I was in Europe. She went on to The View. All those women wanted her to win. They threw her a softball. They threw her a second softball. She was so weak as a candidate, she couldn't even answer that she would do something different. It ricocheted around the world. She was finished. Well, let me go. They will never do that again.
They played hide the ball. They lost badly. She should go away and never, ever come back. She spent almost $2 billion. They're raising money this week to pay off the debt. If you can't run your campaign, you damn sure can't run the country.
Dentists hate when you do this, but they can't stop you. This new $100 dental device uses cutting-edge ultrasonic.
I just hope that she knows that no matter what happened tonight, that millions of people are proud of her. I'm proud of her. Women around the world are proud of her. Women of color are proud of her.
Why?
And
for being a loser.
You know, I'm not even going. Y'all know how I felt in the beginning of the.
3,000.
I did not want to vote for nobody. She changed my mind. I feel like she was very honest. I feel like she said the things that I wanted to hear.
She listened to the same people we were listening
When
to.
I look at her in her face,
Yes, not.
and when she was talking to me, I really felt like she was very genuine. I feel like she was not playing no.
I obviously have a problem. Anyone has a problem with Donald Trump. The bigger question should be, yes, Sonny, why did they vote for him?
Yes.
In sweeping.
So they need to be introspective.
No, we need to be introspective. If we voted for Kamala
don't let me
Harris, we
forget we
need
gotta
to say
talk about
what
Sonny when
didn't
we come
resonate
back.
with the voters. Do you know what didn't resonate with the voters? When they were saying we don't feel safe and the left focused on defund the police and bail reform.
Yeah.
When they said
They
we're
were
worrying
focused-
about
also
can I just finish? Let me just finish real quickly. When they were focused on
It's only an hour show, ladies.
Joy, when they were focused on renaming schools, there were people saying, hey, students are destroying colleges. I paid for that. I sent them there. They can't learn. And everyone apologized for it and didn't want to attend to it. They also denied the border was a crisis and kept saying, no, it's fine. This is not a...
There was a border.
Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand
but
for
brother,
personal
you got it
attacks.
wrong.
Say
You were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So, okay, all right. Can I just
Don't
finish
call
a
me
goddamn
Stupidly
thought
wrong. That
ever
was a
on this
little
show?
bit.
No, not if you're
Okay,
personally.
well,
I
you
admitted
proved it.
I was wrong. I don't need you to call me stupid.
Okay.
Can I just say
What
it's
kind of
great to see
nonsense
you
is that?
Democrats
Yeah, I
all
know.
getting
Who
along
taught
so
you
well.
manners?
It's lovely to see a
Can I
post-election
finish a
harmony as you all
goddamn
come
point?
together
We're
again.
just
I
moving
know
right
I'm
now.
stupid. I don't
It sounds like they're on this show,
Hey,
man.
Alan, you deserve a tall glass of shut up juice. So can you just shut up for a second and let someone who knows what
Not
they're doing?
if you're
so
gonna
right,
personally
Pierre.
attack
You're
me.
so right. We're so
Make any
unified right
point
now.
you want.
So
I will not sit here and stand
So-
for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost your
Blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
Who the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are
like
you
that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
points.
loser? Okay, can
Make your points.
I just give the correct answer for once?
We are living in an economy today, Donna, where the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. 25% of elderly people are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and parents all over this country worry that their kids may have a lower standard of living than they do. That is the economic reality. And what Donald Trump did is provided an explanation. He went around, he said, I know you're angry. And the reason is that zillions of illegal immigrants are coming over and they're eating your cats and dogs and everything else. That's the reason. Well, obviously, that is not the reason. The reason is, in my view, that we have an unprecedented level of corporate greed today, more income and wealth inequality, and people on top want it all. And we need an agenda that says to the working class, we're going to take on these powerful special interests and create an economy and a government that works for you. And by the way,
I'd like to see his
that can't happen
portfolio,
unless you get big money out of politics. We got to get rid of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision so billionaires do not continue to buy elections.
That's all.
Yeah,
because the Democrats have always been for the working people.
Exactly. And the Republicans don't.
Bullshit.
The message of the Democrats sounded elitist. You don't have value in society.
They sounded that way, but when you look at the proof,
yeah, but Joy, it's condescending. It's condescending. There is a condescending. The way that the left speaks to its voters, it really is
a message of joy and inclusiveness.
No, the message of not being educated, being dumb, and what's wrong with America.
Who said that?
Sonny just did. What is wrong with America?
Joy,
My point here is
that's not what Kamala Harris said.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
My point is, I don't blame Joe Biden. I don't blame Kamala Harris. Go back as far as you want. I blame a messaging within the Democratic Party.
You don't blame the Republican
Party? Can I just finish my point, please?
To fight for them. But that has never occurred to a Democrat outside of Bernie Sanders, and probably never will. So I have no interest in listening to a single Democratic politician ever again. They can go kiss my ass. They can do whatever they want. And we never listen to them anyway. And they hate us because we're right and they're wrong. They're always wrong. And they hate us for being right. Okay? So, but they're not going to learn. You have to beat them in the primary. That's your only hope.
The entire time.
Oh, Kamala's going to win. Oh, she's because of the lying sons of bitches on mainstream media. Who will smear you to no end, who will fight harder against progressives and populists.
See, now he's siding with the people like us.
Or Donald Trump or anyone else. Well, brothers and sisters, nobody said life was fair. So we got to go fight that mainstream media. We got to destroy that mainstream media that is filled with lies on top of lies about how the politicians are so honest and the donors have no control over policy. They have 100% control over policy. Everyone in mainstream media is a liar.
Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself.
They're married.
On Friday, we were
They used to both be married to somebody else, had an affair.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
No, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications.
Have you ever had an experience where you're just going along and life was not going the way you wanted, and
it just popped this stupid commercial? Oh no, we're done. Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that little clip. We got other ones we'll probably play throughout the night while we're on tonight, but there have been some funny shit with lefties losing it. Of course, my girlfriend down there that works for Sky News, she really posts some hilarious stuff.
Oh yeah, she's good. I love her to death. I love her.
We would play some of it. I'd like to get a chance to write to them some, let us use some inserts off their YouTube stuff. But they had some good stuff. I mean, she is effing funny. And she just bitch slaps. Another night she was talking about Michelle Obama, just swap, wop, slapped. I'm thinking, damn, didn't even like it. She wasn't even there. What amazes me is how much she knows about U.S. politics. Well, she probably knows more than most on media. She probably does. Anyway, I'm not on cam for what the hell. Okay. I'm sure she does. I have no doubt she does. Because she knows the what's and the who's.
It'd be so nice to get her on the show, dude, just for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta find her contact information. Well, for a couple of reasons. I'd like to ask about that, and I'd really like to let us use a couple of her inserts. What's that, Frank? You haven't met her? Well, she'd tear our 4 S's up. She is mean as shit. It's one of the reasons I like her. Yeah. I can't think of her name. I never see her name on the screen. She never has it up there. No, I know who you're talking about, Chanel. No, she's with like Newsmax or One American News. Over the election cycle, I've seen her a couple of times, kind of skinny, long brunette, goofy looking. Thinks she's like hot, but she's not. Yeah. I know that she Michael, the guy, whatever his name is. I like him, man. He's a no nonsense motherfucker. He tore up some Democrats' ass before the election because he just called them out on just because Democrats can just be stupid sometimes on some of the stuff they say. Oh, it's not that conservatives can't either. Like I don't want to really take a side here because some of my conservative friends have said some shit that I'm like, really? Did you really? Almost as dumb as AOC said, work on the moon when it's off at night. I mean, dumb shit.
Work on the sun. Work on the sun because it's off at night. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but no, she really did say that. It's somewhere on YouTube. I've seen it a few times
because the sun is off.
And she said something else recently that was even dumber than that. But well, she's our favorite to pick on. Besides, she's in Michael's state, so he's got to deal with her dumbass. She's not in my state. Rita already fed her to the alligators. AOC.
Yeah, she's cute. She's in Washington D.C. Man,
she's a cutie
from New York. I mean, they said that so many times.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I want to say. I'm glad you said that. So let's talk about Sonny for a minute from The View. So I'm watching.
Why?
Oh no, you're gonna love this. I'm watching one of our favorite little black girls the other night talking. Candace Owens is going on, and she said somebody keeps bugging her about this thing. And she posted this link, and I was reading through it. And so, Sonny went and had her DNA done, on that PBS show. Find out who you are, right?
Yeah, I saw it. It.
So she found out she was Spanish and her family owned slaves.
Yes. You should have seen her face, boy.
She is a slave owner, man. No more being a sweet black girl. Oh, no.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I mean, you couldn't hear a pin drop in that.
And it was so funny when that reporter asked her about it. She said, well, it was just one of the things they did back in the day. Oh, wait. The other day, you wanted everybody who even had a family name with slave owners restitution. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, no, it was just something they did back in the day. Oh, boy, was that just an instant, like swift. Oh, no, people, you can check it out for yourself. See,
I wasn't involved. It's 400 years removed. I wasn't involved. Boo hoo hoo.
Janny, we source all of our news from somewhere. Yeah, we don't. Well, it's easier for y'all to get to the truth that way. We're just giving you the news from where we're hearing it from different sources, and a lot of times we'll say where it's from, and then y'all can figure out because it's news. No, because
some of it's even hearsay until we double check it while we're even here on the air. Sometimes things
and we do check stuff on air too. Oh yes, we do. Because we'll be discussing something that just doesn't ring right, or one of us. I don't know. So while the other ones are talking, they'll go through and check it. Oh, it happens all the time. So it makes the show fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that chick's name is Rita. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Well, Rita, if that's your name, baby, I'm going to come. Rita, you come have a seat right here with Daddy. Daddy wants to talk to you. You've been a bad girl.
Joe's in love with Rita.
You've been a bad girl.
Oh, my God.
They got to have to talk to you.
I'm going to have to wash my eyes out with Clorox.
That's right. No, Zane, we're talking about. No, she's from Sky News. Oh no, she's really good. We'll probably play a piece of a clip after a while, so just hang out and say. But she's a mess, man. She's a hot mess.
To New Orleans, man. You can feed her your crawdad.
Yeah, so come on down, baby. We'll take you to New Orleans. You have a good old time.
Do some kangaroo stuff.
I'll teach you how to ride on the alligator shack. We got crocodile down here. Fuck them little alligators.
Got crocs and alligators.
It's corrupt down in New Orleans, dude.
New Orleans has been corrupt since the day it was founded. I mean, that is one of the most corrupt cities on the planet, much less in the country.
It's got good food, man. You can't go wrong.
There is so much illegal money that goes through the port of New Orleans that it's not even funny. I hate I would bet you if they would let you just open up containers, probably about every 50th container is just packed full of money. They are shipping shit in and out of there all the time, and a lot of times they find it too, and they tell you for everyone they find, 100 got through. And I'm like,
here's an interesting note: Customs only has the manpower to search 1% of all the containers coming into the U.S.
But that's why they scan them now. So if you're in a New Orleans port, going or coming, if you're getting off the ship, you have to go through the scanners to get out. And then you have to go through the scanners to get in. So there's no way in and off the port without going through the scanners. Now, what the scanners will detect, I have no idea. How accurate they are, I have no idea. But I do notice they may, they're scanning containers. You ain't climb no fence with a container on your back. That ain't gonna happen, man. Oh wait, that's another thing. So this dude the other day, he's in the Gulf, he's cruising along fishing. Comes up, sees a black container floating in the water. Must have fell off a ship, right? He's like, man, what is this? So they get in there and cut a hole in the top of it. They climb down in it. This fucking thing is loaded with diamond jewelry. I mean, loaded with cut stones, just stones random. Like, no, God knows for how much. And since they don't know what boats it off of, he don't even have to do that split because it doesn't belong to anybody but him. He's got complete salvage. I know the guy at the port said they figured it was worth $50 to $150 million.
Damn.
And you know what? You know that wasn't going to no store nowhere, my friends. That was some shit being shipped somewhere for somebody to use for something. You know, I found out too. There's a big gold trade coming out of Africa into the United States. Since the U.S. is strict on gold, well, the U.S. is very strict on gold, so somehow or another they send it to Switzerland, and then we get it from Switzerland, and it comes here. And Charlie keeps telling me he's going to teach me how to go gold hunting. I'm ready, man. I need to go. Man, don't they have some gold Mississippi somewhere? I'm going to go look and see.
No, because the glaciers never made it down that far.
Don't be telling me bad, negative shit.
No, there's gold. There's gold in North Carolina. There's gold in Georgia. But down around your area, no.
What about near me in Waynesboro and Hagerstown, Maryland?
I got family in Georgia.
Seriously, Jay, yeah, there's gold down around where you're at.
Gotta go up to the Yukon, man.
No, you don't.
No, you don't got no gold.
Get the gold.
They don't got that crap out of it anyway.
Hell,
Like, you know what's crazy?
Michael,
about
there were
that?
so many bullets and black powder fireballs shot at the Battle of Gettysburg that you can still go up there and dig up bullets that are.
You can't do that. You'll be arrested.
Oh yeah, you get in big trouble now for it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, back in the day you didn't, but now you can't.
No, even today, you would have to find a privately owned farm that's close to Gettysburg and get permission to go on that land.
Yeah.
You just can't walk. Oh, if they catch you doing that shit on the battlefield at Gettysburg, oh my God, you are.
It's federally protected land, isn't it?
Yeah.
Federal park.
Well, we were out there one night. We just walking around. I was in Gettysburg down in Maryland, in D.C., doing a lecture. And I was down there for about 4 days. So, friends said, let's go take a ride tonight. We'll go see. And I said, a bunch of them hopped in the truck and drove up there. You know, they're going to do a little ghost hunt. I was going to do just a little walk around, maybe see a UFO. And I kicked something. I started digging it out of the ground. This guy, I don't even know where this guy came from in a pickup truck out of nowhere.
Yep.
You can't. What are you doing, man? I'm like, what do you mean? I said, I kicked this. I fell over it, looked around it. I wanted to see what it was. He said, it's a cannonball. Put the thing back down. I'm like, he said, man, that's been there for you. You can't, you put that back down. I said, you didn't even know it was here. He said, you want to go to jail? So, and a friend of mine looked at me. He said, I think he's serious. So I said, okay, I'll put your damn cannonball back in the ground. I said, but I hope the ghost that belongs to kicks you in the nuts tonight. He just looked at me like, what? And a friend of mine said, he couldn't help it. He just bust out laughing. He said, don't worry about it. Joe's crazy, man. He's, not enough. He's used to the South. There's not enough oxygen up here for him, man.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, it's thin, my friend.
It's a beautiful area, man. That whole region.
It is.
So, like the rolling hills and all that. It's really a lot of lakes.
We've got a smaller version at it on the Shomat battlefield. It was a pretty intense battle, which we hardly left anybody, pretty much wiped out, the entire force. But there's all over the field. I mean, you'll see little musket balls all over, cannonballs all over. And they used to let you go out there and take them. Like when we were kids and went on a field trip, you could pick up, if you found a musket ball, you could keep it.
Yeah.
Not no more, my friend.
For Americans, it belongs to us.
What got me was the arrowheads. I was in so a friend of mine, we were going up to Utah. I was going up to do election. So we stopped in some Indian. Two real quick stories. So we stopped at the first Indian reservation. I needed gas. It's 2:00 in the morning. We get gas, right? So Joe, I said, "You want to go in something?" He said, "Oh, this store feels creepy." So I'm sitting there getting gas, and these three guys on the curb just kept staring at us. So I slipped in the car, took Martha out, slipped her in my jacket, went back to pumping gas because it's a big ass car we had, big ass van, and get ready to shut the door, and the guy's like standing on the other side of the door, and I look at him and said, "What do you want?" "Oh, you're gonna." I said, "First of all, you started that conversation out the wrong way. You didn't ask me." I said, "So back up away from my door." And Joe's in the car, and Joe, a goddamn machete in his head, crazy bastard. And I'm like, I said, "Just step away from the car, man." And he said, "Why not?" And I said, "Well, listen." And you heard, shh. I said, that give you any idea why to step away from the car? And you see the other guy, both of them just step back. And I walked around the car, and as I did, I slid the gun out of my hand. I was just letting it sit on my side. I said, "So what did you want?" He hummed and hummed and hummed. He said, "Oh, well, we was going to ask for," I said, "You ain't asked me for a ride, right?" I said, "Why don't you go sit back down where you were before there's a problem here?" And right about that time, the guy inside the store comes running out the store with a gun in his hand to get on these guys' ass. He wasn't after me. He's screaming at these guys, "What are you doing, man? Are you harassing the customers? I'm calling the sheriff."
I told you not to talk to my customers, you asshole.
So I put the gun back in the car, unloaded the gun, put the gun back in the car, and took off. But that was a creepy thing. So anyway, it was about 9:00 in the morning, and we stopped somewhere actually to take a piss on the side of the road. I'm not gonna lie. And we're kicking around in this stuff, and there's little curb things along the side. And I'm kicking around, and I started seeing these little arrowheads. There must have been 15, 20 of them. So I'm picking them up. And I threw them in the box, the little thing in the middle of in the console, and the car took off. So we're driving along. Well, they got this little roadblock thingy to go into this other Indian reservation. And as we're going into it, we're leaving one, going into another one. The guy looks down. He said, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, it's some rocks I found." But he said, "Man, that ain't rocks. You can't have that. Give me that." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can't have that." He said, "You want some of those? Go to the shop and buy them." I was like, "You fucking kidding me, right?" He's like, "No, give them to." Oh man! I thought Joe was gonna piss himself. He started laughing so hard. He's like, "Well, guess they ain't getting no souvenirs around here." It was a little weird.
You can find them around here, man. You go along the rivers and all that,
Yeah,
shores.
You find them in Pennsylvania, downward Zalos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a couple places around here you can go find them if you really want to go look for them and stuff. But
I live right between the two biggest battlefields from the Civil War, Antietam and Gettysburg.
Unless they're platinum, I'm not really interested in them. I'm like,
you know what? Sometimes you find like scraping tools and things like that. So they're actually they can actually be worth something. Arrow straighteners. You can find things like that. But there's a lot of.
If you want to get platinum, dude, you have to go up to Canada.
Well, them Canucks love me. They'll let me in. They're like, "Oh, we love you, Mr. Joe. We love you, love you." We'll talk about that in a minute too. Oh, who told you? All right, Michael. Not you, Michael. The other Michael. Who told you that? I haven't told anybody that yet. Jay kind of sort of knows a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, something I'm going to talk about tonight. Maybe next week. Yeah, not like that. Maybe next week I'll talk about it.
That I sort of know the answer to.
Maybe next week.
That's not fair, Joe.
Yeah, I'll tell y'all after when we get off air. But it's not like it's anything crazy or anything. Even though it could be with me, but it's not actually. Now, Jim, you made me forget everything I was doing because you asked me that stupid ass question. I went looking for something intentionally and I forgot completely why I was looking for. What the hell we were talking about before you asked me that stupid ass question? It's
anal abduction.
Anal abduction.
So I throw that out there.
I don't know about that. I guess we'll leave that way.
Gettysburg.
Who's the Sasquatch expert on the panel? We're gonna hand that one over to them. Oh man, I hear Sasquatch got long fingers, man.
Well, Pennsylvania's the land of the giants, man. You had Spanish Hill just over there by Sayre, and when they were putting the road in, they found all these 14-foot tall skeletons, whole bunch of them. They sent them to Pittsburgh, which is where their chief archaeologist was. He certified them bones. They shipped them to University of Philadelphia, where they disappeared. And then they said, well, they weren't real. They were like, we'll dismiss them.
They didn't disappear.
They found male and female. They said from females were like 9-10 feet tall. The males were like 14 feet tall, somewhere around there. All buried on that hill right there, And you know what? The hill's off limits too. After they put the road, they said that the workers hoaxed.
Probably got radiation. Or
the
something.
Workers back in early 1900s, they were going to hoax something like that.
Yeah. Michael's glowing there, Joe. Can you see?
I know.
Him?
I see him. Look at him. Look at his head's glowing. Lori Ramsey writes in and says Pennsylvania is a fuck. Well, I can't say it like that.
What?
Anyway, she says Pennsylvania is the suckiest state in the union. I was going to read what she wrote, but I can't read that. Holy crap.
Awesome,
ooh, man, she just went off on y'all hardcore. Where are you from? You're from North Lake where? Pennsylvania? Well, wait. Oh, you're a Harris fan. I apologize. It took me a minute. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I was going for Harris too, baby. I was in the closet Harris fan. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I wanted her to win bad. Ooh, yeah. No, I'm being honest with you. Yeah. I'm not being sarcastic. No,
I thought she was cute.
Yeah, she was cute. And I heard she farted funny. It's
You said farted funny?
One of her aides said that. No, for real. One of her aides actually said that.
Is there a non-funny way to fart?
Well, I guess when you're vice
I think they're all
president,
pretty equally as funny.
I don't know. When you're vice president, I think it's extra
depending
funny.
where you hear it.
No, I think it's going to be extra.
If you're in an
funny.
elevator with somebody, that's not so funny.
What do you mean? How can we go from serious news to fart? That's just part of how we do
Because it's
things.
the same
around
thing.
That's how we roll, guys. That's how we roll.
Oh, it's the same damn thing to us.
Same thing.
Serious. I think the war will probably end in Ukraine this year. I think it'll be over. I think Hamas
It's gonna be
will
over in
probably
a couple
fall.
weeks.
as long as Hamas gives all the hostages back, I think that'll be over with too.
Not for nothing.
think-
Nobody ever asked anybody anything about the whole
Yeah,
situation.
I
Those
think
people in the eastern Ukraine identify themselves as Russians. So all this hoopla, taking the land and this and that and whatever, and then
well,
Russia-
move them all in one province. You don't have to give them the whole
using
bottom of the
Crimea for
country.
how many damn years they get the submarine bases there? So it's just common sense.
So,
to convince
look, Crimea should still belong to the Ukraine. They should just
that guy
rent it from the
Zelensky's an
Ukraine.
idiot, dude. He's an idiot. He played the piano for 5 minutes.
You know what? Wait, think about this. He's Hitler, and he's also Napoleon. He's the short man syndrome. What is he? 5'5"? All the people who started, all the Napoleon syndrome people are all around 5'5". He's one of them. He might be the guy who started World War III because the guy who started World War II was about the same kind of ding-a-ling.
You know what I found out on YouTube was that all the weapons that the United States gave him, they sold them on the black market.
Yep.
Oh, well, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
They need on the black market, and
they need money to pay their troops.
Hey, would you guys like to see a list of the number one top states from top to bottom? Like who's the worst and who's the best?
Who is this list from? Now, this makes a big difference who these lists are from. These
my
lists vary a lot, man. I noticed. We used to do these a lot, Stephanie and I.
Here, I'll put it on the thing. You can take a look at it.
been missing the
US
poll.
News.
Jay's
Well, I live
missing
in-
the polls.
I know, Jason. Yeah, I guess he is.
So
it don't matter. On any list we're on, Mississippi will always be like 47th, 48th.
we'll do it really fast. So
49th.
number 50 is Louisiana. We'll just go real
Oh,
quick.
that doesn't even
I can't be
surprise
right. Usually it's Georgia's down here. New Mexico, 49. Mississippi, Arkansas, West Virginia, Alaska. This one shocked me. It's coming up as my state is coming up right here. Michigan, South Carolina. Pennsylvania's 40th.
Damn. I would have thought y'all would have been higher than this.
Illinois, California. Who didn't know that one? That should have been at the bottom.
Yeah,
Ohio. That's a shocker. Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona. We just go really fast. That's the 30s. Now we're into the 20s. Tennessee, Rhode Island, Maryland. That's where I grew up.
Well, New York and Maryland are right there together. What were they?
Who put this list together even?
U.S. News. New York is 23.
Oh, you can't trust me.
New York's not 25.
Delaware,
What's Georgia? I see Georgia coming up. What are they, like 25th or something?
Yeah, I've lived in Georgia.
Wisconsin.
Colorado, I can see.
Oh my God.
Colorado's full of. Anyway, I've been to Colorado a few times, and
Now here comes the top 10. South Carolina is 11. Here comes the top 10.
I love Colorado.
Any predictions for the top 10 for number 10?
Politically, it's not good.
Here it is. Massachusetts is number 10.
Okay.
Number 9 is Florida. Wow,
Florida made top 10 list. That's crazy.
Number 8, Washington State.
Yeah, boo! Washington State sucks.
Yeah.
Boo.
Vermont.
It's definitely like a liberal.
I mean, what is like 5 people in Vermont? Come on.
Number 6, Iowa. Wow.
Iowa. Surprising.
Let's go.
That's really surprising.
Coming in at number 5.
They got one of the highest cancer rates in the country.
Minnesota.
Dude. Who wants to live in Minnesota? No, nobody wants to live in Minnesota. Nebraska, nowhere.
Where'd you go on vacation this summer, man? I went to Minnesota.
Who wants to predict number 2? What's number 2 going to be?
I don't know. It's just scary now.
I had some fun in Minnesota.
Yeah, New Hampshire is like as big as my left toe. But...
Number 1. Wow.
Well, you know what? Utah, you can go back and forth on Utah. Utah's got a lot of big pluses. It's got 8 of the dark sky
come
parts.
on, dude. Utah, the Mormons put that list together.
No, man. They got marijuana now. They got beautiful skies and beautiful things.
Utah. Its speed limit is 80 miles an hour because they want you to drive as fast as you can through that sucker, man. And get out of there, you know? I've been to Utah. You guys been to Utah? The whole state will burn your eyes out. There's nothing green.
You know? No, get out of here. There's lots of green stuff. You just got to know where you go.
Colorado, you get some nice green areas here and there, mountains, whatever. Utah is just like flat rock, red rock, bam, bam.
I know Moab is badass looking. There's a couple places in Utah that are really nice, and then there's a couple of ghost towns that were pretty cool too. And where we were staying at, where we were doing lectures from, we would drive down. We were only 71 minutes to Area 51, and letting them drive. And the cops don't care. Dude, we're doing 100, 4 in a row. We blow by troopers' cars doing this. He don't even look up, man. I'm not, and you know that alarm was going beep, 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 beep. He didn't even look up. I was like, look at this son of a bitch.
The sign says 80 miles an hour speed limit, and this says Fords, do the best you can.
Well, if you're up in the northern part coming down from Moab, it's actually 85. And but there's a place between Utah and Colorado. We took the reservation way, dude.
Is it Montana like 90?
The mountains there are great. They're fabulous, beautiful, but there is no cell signal and no radio signal. And I mean, for like 3 hours, there's no signal at all. You just unless you got a sat phone, you ain't got shit. We were just cruising along, and I said, thank God I have music on my phone, man.
Yeah.
Popped it up to the screen and let it play, and pumped it up to 100 miles an hour, and didn't even see a cop. And that road is twisty, windy, crazy looking, and 100. I mean, most of the time we were there, we were doing 100 through, because once you get out past Austin, you can cruise, especially if you're on Interstate 10. You can do 90. They don't give a shit if you're doing 90. They just look at you like, dude, why are you going so slow? There's nothing out here.
Yeah, like I said, Montana, I think it's like 90. And they don't really care how fast you go, as long as you go over 90.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it's just wide open, and they're not going to write you a ticket for that.
You got to follow traffic. So, I mean, when it's like 75 speed limit, people are going 90, and you have to go 90 because everybody else is going 90. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you mess things up. I was going 90, and a blonde-haired woman with no motorcycle helmet was on a white Harley Davidson, and all the Harley passed us like we were standing still, and we were going 90. And I had my CB on because that's the way you travel. You got to have your CB, man. That's how you find out stuff on the road. You know what? Truck drivers were like, "You see this crazy woman?" Like she was weaving in and out. I don't know.
It's worse than that. It's worse than you can possibly imagine, Michael. Going home to where I grew up in Montgomery County, Maryland. It's only about a 45-minute to an hour drive from here. But I go down I-70, then it turns into 270. And when it's in the Frederick County area, it's 65 miles an hour. is the speed limit. Most people go 75 miles an hour. But then when you get into Montgomery County, it drops down to 55 miles an hour, and you're now on the Washington D.C. Beginning of the Beltway. But the speed limit's 55. People are still going 75 from coming down from Frederick County, and they don't care. They keep on doing it, and it's you're going from 2 lanes out into 4 lanes. And I stay at 65. I just dropped down to 65 miles an hour, and people drive like in cars or driving past me like I'm standing still. I'm like, dude, it's 55 miles an hour. You can't go.
It's like coming out of light speed.
Everybody's doing it. There aren't enough to stop them from doing it.
It's like coming out of light speed, and then you're like,
I know. I'm telling you, man.
I'm scared to go back to my hometown. It scares the crap out of me driving because there are people driving.
You should drive between Dallas and Houston. There's an interstate piece. It's always got construction.
I did it once. Yeah, that's scary.
It's always there's no speed limit signs up there. Everybody's cruising. There's no cops.
Have you ever driven Atlanta's rush hour?
Oh yeah, my sister.
Oh my God!
I go up there. I go up to Dragon Con too.
But it goes 85 miles an hour.
It's weird. Sometimes just putting along, but it's crazy. And it also depends on which side of it, because it goes all over the place. The side which you come in, like when you come in from the airport side, it's a little different.
When the speed limit goes down, use your cruise control, set it at that speed, because your foot's going to want to go 80. It's not going to want to go 55.
Every time I approached it, it was from the south, from Savannah.
From 80 to 55 is
the ebb flow. So
yeah, we'll come in from the south a lot of times too, but sometimes we come in from Interstate 20, because sometimes we'll go up through Mississippi and come across.
Yeah, Interstate 20 is coming from Alabama. It's coming right.
So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we'll go up the middle of Mississippi and hit 20 up there.
Lives. Conyers, Georgia. You don't want to. Oh no, you don't ever want to enter Atlanta.
Well, no, because when you know what time to drive, it's way faster. Actually, you knock about an hour off the trip. But you can't catch it during rush hour. If you do, you're screwed. You'll add 2 hours to the trip, so you just got to pay attention to the times. No, my mom used to drive it all the time. She used to come down about once a month, twice a month. She'd drive down, and she had all the interstates in between. Figured out when if she couldn't catch it on her time, she'd come down through the middle of Alabama and drop on Interstate 10 down here in Mobile, and then cruise out this way. But the problem is around here, most interstates are 70 miles an hour. You get into Florida, you might see 75 or 80 as you're going down further into the state, but not anywhere else around here. Everybody's 70 miles an hour, and the cops will let you stretch 75, even 80 a lot of times, but that's it. Anything more than that, you're getting stopped, you're getting searched. If you get stopped in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia, you're getting searched. No matter what, you could be preaching and you're still getting searched. It's just the way they do things. That's just how it is. They're going to search your vehicle. They'll let you slide. Like I said, slide to 80, 85, but in most of the states, once you break 85 to 90, that's considered reckless operation. They can take you to jail if they want to. So, it's all about how you deal with them. But anyway, getting back to the news, people, I am really surprised that Hamas has come out more than once now and said, we're doing this because of Trump. So go Trump, go Trump. We should be playing Trump's dance song. We should all be doing that great dance.
But I hear they're just talking about the Israeli hostages. I didn't hear nothing about the United States.
Well, if they're stupid enough to keep the United States hostages, what's coming next?
Two of the alleged hostages to be let go in the first wave are supposed to be Americans, but they haven't said whether they're alive or dead personages. So are we getting a body back, or are we getting somebody who's alive?
I would think they might want to keep the dead ones to last.
Yeah,
but you never know with these people.
They're not that smart. Yeah, they're really not that.
All I heard that came out, and it could just be a rumor. It was going to be 3 women. And they were probably going to be Israelis, but no one knew for sure if they were going to be Israelis or American, because Trump pretty much said, give me the damn hostages before I get out. Now he's going out. Monday is his day. Tuesday, he officially goes.
What do they got? 2 days, 3 days?
I mean, actually, after 5 p.m. on Monday, he can start and writing away. So I'd be really careful here. Trump don't like to be shown up. He might just drop something on your head just to remind you that, look, we will kill you. You think 40,000 died? Don't get us involved in this. It could be way more than 40,000. Have you not seen what happened to Iraq and Afghanistan? Stop it. Nip it in the butt now. I think the United States should go invade Belarus.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, just to piss the Russians off. Say, what? Well, you invaded Ukraine. Why can't we invade Belarus? They're a threat. They're a threat to this harbor.
I don't know if this is already up there or not, but
Maybe we should invade Poland.
Here's the timeline. It's not going to happen until at least 2 days, 12 hours, 13 minutes, and 51 seconds. That's inauguration day right there. That's when it's coming.
Right now, you see Russia and Ukraine really go at each other terribly, violently to try to gain ground. So when they negotiate, somebody has the better hand. It's real sad, the whole thing, how that has to go and work.
It's very true that that's how it's working. Everybody's trying to grab as much as they can. So that's one of the reasons I noticed the Ukraine the other day started lobbing stuff deep into Moscow. I mean, into Russia.
Biden gave another $500 million. $500 million.
Well, it's not the $500 million. Screw the $500 million. He gave him some of the ballistic missiles. Those are mid-range ballistic missiles.
And gave him permission to use them inside of Russia. So
yeah, those things can reach 2/3 of the continent. I mean, over the continental Russia. So that's easily Moscow. Now, what kind of warheads they have, I don't know. I know that none of them are nukes, but
we don't know.
We got some big wars.
They can't drop on there. We didn't give them a nuke, but they could make one.
Well, we don't know if they gave all the nukes back doing the cleansing back in the day. As far as we know, there's a warehouse somewhere down there with several warheads laying
in the
around.
Ukraine, there's 250 missing warheads from that era. 250. They never accounted for them.
Sitting in some guy's garage somewhere. Oh, what are those, Bob? I don't know. Somebody gave me this cones. I was going to put them outside to block my driveway off.
There's over 40 nuclear briefcases missing from Russia from the Soviet Union collapse.
Yeah, but something about that. I read something about that in the late 90s. The United States had found a way to sterilize most of them because they had found out that there was at least 2 inside of Hong Kong when the Brits still had it, and somehow the U.S. figured out a way to sterilize them. Because people don't know this, and probably I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So the U.S. scans, especially in our country, we scan for radiation every day, 1 million times a day. We're constantly scanning for radiation. We're scanning at all of our ports. We're scanning everywhere. Because if we don't, it's a good chance somebody might sneak something into our country. And even doing that, it's still a 25% chance that somebody can sneak something in our country. Well, a while back, asked by the Europeans if we'd start, using satellite scanning to help them, we started doing it. Well, apparently the U.S. decided, well, we're just going to scan everybody. We're going to start scanning everybody. So they decided under, who was it? It wasn't Obama. Who was before Obama?
Clinton.
Bush. Oh, no, was it Clinton?
Bush. Baby Bush.
Oh, yeah, it was Baby Bush. Anyway, they decided that if they ran across only nuclear weapons that had been unregistered, that had been lost, that they could sterilize the payload. And that was their mandate to do from that point forward. So since none of them have detonated in all this time, it's been, 40 years, I'm kind of wondering if maybe they weren't lying and they were telling the truth. Because I would have thought by now terrorists would have got their hands on at least one. Maybe
there are some that, some nuclear, at least not the whole missile, but parts of the nuclear payloads have come up missing for both America and Russia.
Well, we had those 2 stolen that somehow or another we managed to make those inert. I don't know how that happened. Something about melting the cobalt head. Something about if you don't code it in right, the tip that holds the print charge, whatever they call it, melts. And once it melts, you can't use it. Well, you'd have to take the plutonium out of the warhead and start from scratch. So they, having a plutonium don't mean you can use it because a lot of people are not going to be able to build warheads like that. Hell, half of them taking a plutonium out will end up killing themselves because they'll probably open the thing.
They make a dirty bomb out of it.
Yeah, they can make a dirty bomb out of it. So that's my point, though. None of that's happened. So it suggests that somehow or another, most of these have been brought under control. Whether it was us, the Russians, the Chinese, the Brits, whoever. I think this has been a covert operation since day one that they've been hunting these nukes. And they can't really tell us, oh, well, guess what? We found 2 nuclear suitcases inside of Hong Kong, one in New York City, in the subway, no less. Been there for 5 years, no less.
Well, you got to look at the KGB and who disbanded, because those are the guys who grabbed the briefcases and ran.
A lot of them did. A lot of them were people who that the KGB sold them to, though. There was several of them were supposed to be in the Middle East that had been sold by KGB to people in the Middle East, just sheerly for money, for nothing else.
It'd be one of those like storage war people, like going in there. Doing go up by a storage locker and you find a briefcase. Let me look in here. Boom.
And of course, the Russians and the U.S. said that the numbers were much higher than they really were. But they never did argue that there were missing nuclear weapons. They just said the number was higher than.
I heard there was 48 that they made and 43 went missing.
There's a lot.
But we made barely any. I think it was 5.
Well, we made these 2 kiloton nukes, but these were for different designs for different things. They weren't really suitcase nukes. They were more like
briefcase. These are briefcase.
Yeah, these were more like stuff that we could put on our cruise missiles, and so instead of shooting a conventional, we could send a cruise missile, and people would be thinking, okay, well, it's pretty going to be bad, but it's a cruise missile. It's got a conventional warhead, and all of a sudden, it cracks a 2 kiloton nuke. Oh, you're like, oh shit, what just happened? So they said they had something like that, and some of those went missing, but most of them I think were recovered. Most of the agencies are pretty good about recovering stuff. It's one of those things.
Are they?
Because it's hard to hide something like that.
Not the ones
people tell me all the time. I love when people tell me, "Well, put it inside of a lead container." Well, first off, it's got to be a damn ass big lead container, and anything that big is going to show up when they scan. So it's either going to show up through the radiation, or because of the size of the lead, the depth that the radar penetrates it or can't penetrate it, it's going to be a warning sign. They're going to notice something there. So either way it goes, they're still going to find it.
Even if you get it away, it's still going to leave a residual, carbon footprint or a Geiger counter footprint.
But it's not like you can just put it in, So you could say, like, let me get an 18-wheeler truck and a lead line the whole truck. We could still see it in that truck. That's how big that signature from plutonium is.
They're looking.
You have to hide it by bringing it by.
We're always looking.
High radioactive source, like a hospital or an imaging service like a X-ray CAT scan place.
So if you ever go to JPEG and watch the satellites, you'll see there's a couple of groups that do this over the United States like this, and they're crisscrossing each other just like this. All they're doing and all they're looking for is radiation. That's all they're looking for. And it's not just because they think that we may have smuggled in. We got to remember we have stations and places we have nuclear shit stored all around the country. It also checks for leaks for that. And it's also checking from all those bombs we blew up back in the day.
Nuclear stuff being shipped all over the country every day.
That's right, every day.
Waste, nuclear waste, big trucks with nuclear waste, trains.
Well, because in the old days you could store it like at the you could store it like at the hospital. You could store it at the different places that use it, but they don't want you doing that anymore. They want it shipped out. They don't like it being there, because the reason we don't have nuclear aircraft, which would be way more efficient than what we have, is because they didn't want to turn the airports in to a nuclear storage facility where dirty bombs could be made on site.
They're burying it in Native American territory, and the Native Americans didn't want it. You know what I mean? And that there was and then the Department of the Interior took the money for the Native Americans. It's such a crappy deal. The whole thing. But this is where
the biggest facilities inside of Yucca Mountain. I don't think that belongs to
Yucca Mountain, exactly what I'm talking about. They're shipping everything there, and then they're actually looking for a marker there. They're thinking about a marker that can last at least 10,000 years.
They've got one that's in every language on the planet and all kind of weird symbols in case we're not speaking any of that stuff when that comes around. Because it's way down deep, though. It's not like it's a little ways under the ground. It's several miles.
It's a volcano area on top of it, man. So it's not exactly the best way to do so.
Well, it's so Yucca Mountain is only for nuclear grade weapons material anyway. It's not for any of the hospital stuff. That goes to the WIP facility.
But I'm saying like nuclear power plants and things like that and all of this shipping, that's the waste going there. I mean,
that's what's going there.
So
I can tell you how it gets in, how the little thing drives around. It's all automated once it gets there. I can tell you how the whole damn thing works. I had a friend of mine used to work for him. It's they actually got a little cart that comes in, picks it up, brings it over here. brings it down a thing, puts it in a little slide thing. And they drop these weird looking clay tablets in the ground, and they drop it in, and then they stack more on top, and they fill it, and they cap it, and then they move on to the next one. They got this thing that comes in and drills ahead of. These little cars are badass looking, by the way. But you don't want no humans going down there. That's for sure.
Do they have little clowns that come out with nuclear?
I don't know, but you don't want no humans going down there. And there's actually somewhere on the internet you can probably find a thing that shows you how.
Oompa Loompas, man. They gotta have Oompa Loompas. Otherwise, the whole thing wouldn't make sense.
Oompa Loompas.
Oompa dee doo. I've got a nuclear rod for you.
Yeah, I bet you they would.
If you don't listen to me,
it's better drugs than all of us, man. It's just
Mike, what are you on, dude?
I know, it's just not right, man. It's wrong on so many levels.
What kind of stickers did you buy tonight, Mike?
Yeah, man.
Even the audience is going, damn, he's got really good drugs. Sure. No, yeah, wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. So,
not drugs in there.
First off, what the fuck happened to SpaceX? Boom, bam.
Wham, all of a sudden now they're under investigation and shit. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, because everybody hates Elon all of a sudden since he's been sucking on who's big thumb.
He's sucking hind titty with the government. Yeah.
So they got a new GIF out with it's Zuckerberg and it's Elon and it's Bezos all underneath with their tongue out. We're not going to go any further than that. This is only an X-rated, an R-rated show.
I saw the Bezos rocket go up. It went up. It did all right. It was delayed.
In all fairness to Elon, so Elon's launch. This is his third launch in like 3 days. So he launched the first one. It's carrying a rover going to the moon. It's the NASA rover. It's a 6'6" rover. And it's going to the moon to run around. And then he launched another rocket carrying a Japanese rover that's 7 foot something. It's going as well. I thought they were both on the same rocket, but somebody said it was on two different rockets.
That's what you got to think of. There was somebody on there.
I heard two rockets.
They would have been dead. They would have been dead.
And so, anyway, he's just moving along, doing what he wants. And I keep hearing these people, send him back, kick him out of the country, send him back. Really? The only guy, this guy's beating out Russia, a United States, China, and all the rest of the free world doing rocketry by his fucking self, and you want to kick him out of the country.
SpaceX is awesome. You can't. You know what?
How ignorant can you actually be?
Yeah, you want one guy in rocket science, you want to kick him out.
You must be one of the ones that are going to shave your head, not have any more babies, please. Anybody who does that, please, that's it. That means you don't need to have any children. Just stop. I would recommend getting yourself fixed. Yes, fixed. Yeah, like a dog. Fixed. Yes, if that works for you, that works for me.
Spayed or neutered.
Yeah.
Do the rest of us a favor.
I have children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. I don't think they need to put up with fucking morons like you. How's that? Who's the nice one? Sean? Yeah, Sean's a sweetie. He's he'll probably eat a fucking finger, but other than that.
Sean can wield a butcher knife and cut into ribbons.
You gotta leave Sean alone. He might be filet, man.
You don't mess with a butcher. In
all fairness,
name is something.
In all fairness, people, we started calling Sean Dexter. So if y'all know who Dexter is, y'all should be worried.
The butcher of Beijing. It's not the dandelion lady.
I said that to Michelle the other night. She's like, Dexter. I said, oh, Michelle, you're in trouble. You gotta leave Sean alone.
I dare you to do that.
Oh, he did. What are you talking about?
I dare you.
So I double dog dare you.
I told her the other night we were talking. It was Wednesday night. I said,
Jay's nice too. I think out of everybody, it's the two of you. Joe and I are kind of on the same level, also. But
yes, we're assholes. That's just life.
Well, every once in a while, I'll go off. Like a couple shows ago, I dropped a couple of MF bombs and F bombs here and there.
There's a contrast.
I'm too polite.
A healthy contrast.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm proud of it too. Come on, if you've been, why do you think I took a break from ufology for a while? Because I was to the point where I was going to have to start just.
Burned you out.
Who is MUFON? Who's MUFON, Joe?
It's MUFON is what we call it.
Michael, I'll tell you who MUFON is. MUFON is one letter removed from bouffon or buffoon.
I saw the transfer menu, and I was kind of just curious what it was. I think it sounds like no. We're really
mutual UFO forgetful organization.
You know those guys at all?
Bunch of bozos.
I can pick on them. I worked for them a long time ago.
Yeah,
no, not in a long time.
If you take away the M and add a B and put an extra O at the end, you get buffoon.
I just call them fun because that's all they seem to be into is fun. It's like it's all a game to them. It's like when Bigelow gave them all that money and they just pissed it away, and they had a good chance to really do some serious investigation, and they all just pissed it away. At least James,
like $4 and $5
was it James Karen? He gave the money back, all the money they paid him and stuff. He gave it back. He felt like, but they were out there buying big cameras and flying first class and shit like that, to go and investigate. Really, people? That's not what he's paying for you. You're not a first class person. If you could afford first class, you would have already been flying first class.
Well, I like the rest of this. I need to throw this out at you, Joe, since you work with MUFON or anything investigating the UFO thing. You're standing there, you look up, you're in Arizona, you look up, and you see a UFO fly by. Mm-hmm. So, was what, 1.1 millimeter second or whatever? And you're going to call out a bunch of people to investigate that?
Well, it would depend on first off who it was that told me what they saw, because they would probably have more detail. Two, it would depend where it was, what time it was, and if there was anything reported in those areas recently, or if it was ever been a spot that was worth investigating. Because sometimes somebody will say, Joe, I saw some odd, but it was just odd. There's nothing else to it. So what we'll do is
you could get the concept of a satellite that might have gone overhead. And then,
but you always check for that. You always check your airport stuff and your satellite stuff right off. But what you do is you list it and you say, okay, well, it was an anomaly, and that's how you list it, and with any details that you can, and then you leave it away, and it goes out to your people who work that may be in those areas, or any UFO organization that you send it out. If anybody else sees it, you'll get feedback, and if they don't, then it was just some kind of weird ass anomaly that you may not get no more data on.
And just keep it as an unidentified. That's all.
We do stake locations. We still stake locations. There are times that we're pretty sure when things are going to show up, pop out of particular places. We know where there's a couple of portals. We know where there's a couple of dead zones. We know where if you've been taking a lot and it's messing with your head, where you can go and they can't. The Greys keep a constant contact with you, so we know places where you can go that they can't contact you. It's just open this. Your brain just is like, wow, there's nothing there. Something in the area naturally shields it. It's very interesting. Anyway, just
in New York City, around New York these days. I mean, especially with those drones. But aside from that, I'm talking about airline pilots seeing like these objects whipping past and all that. But I don't know. It's out there. I mean, I don't think any one area has more than another. It depends on where they're based and what. It depends on the reason. There are definitely
hotspots. There are definitely UFO hotspots all across the planet.
But you got to see reasons.
Oh yeah, there are.
And purpose. What's the purpose? Reasons why. Do you know what I mean? So you got to look at it. Go from there. Start your investigation and work that way.
Well, they abduct Shawn every so often. So when they get those, they bring him on board, have him chop up everything real good.
Want the courthouse, man.
Get his Dexter ideas straight. Well, somebody's got to know how to do it real well, and then drop him off.
My new nickname.
That's why his ass is so tired all the time. He's like, son, bitch feels like I'm working two jobs, because he is. What's that, Frida?
Michelle, I'm Dexter. That's my new name. I should put that in my name here. Dexter.
Frida, where are you from? Frida, where you from?
I don't know, man.
Blue Hills, Kentucky.
I like monkeys, but I
don't know about Blue Hills, Kentucky.
As a whole. So aliens got to look at us the same way. Like, look at these monkeys. I don't want them anywhere near me. They're gross,
Oh, yeah, they don't think of us as monkeys.
Sickly, and messed up, and violent, and whatever. Monkeys attacking each other on the planet all the time, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not only monkeys, but chattering monkeys.
I mean, who the hell wants to deal with that? When I'm being an alien, I gotta go down and mess with the monkeys, man.
No, they're the ones that probably gave ascension, so they're probably responsible for us.
How gross is that? Yeah. Or unless they're just fucked in the head, these aliens, and then they got nothing else, so they're gonna probe some monkeys, man, which is also.
So Raylene from Blue Hills, Kentucky is writing in, and she's saying that why don't we talk more about the shit that's going on in the Carolinas and in Kentucky about the people not getting their money and look, LA. They told LA the same thing. They're going to give them what was it, $700?
$700.
Oh, is it 700? So it's going to be 700. Anyway, the problem I know for y'all, a lot of y'all are being kicked out of your hotels and stuff when the weather's dropping to what, the teens.
Yeah.
And that's not including the wind chill.
Yeah, we're gonna be
I don't know what the hell's going on there. I don't know. Just nothing Trump can do because Trump's hands are tied till he officially takes office. I don't think Joe Biden gives a good fuck, to be totally honest with you. If y'all freeze to death, it'll just be more dead people on his legacy.
Trump's talking about putting the funding into his reconciliation package, which is really one big package that includes everything he wants to do all at once. And then
funding for California. Yeah.
Did you see Biden when he came out to his last public speaking? He came out and looked like he was about to ask the question: "Is this where I come to get my diapers changed?" I mean, it looked like he had no clue where he was. Man. Really did. I mean,
I was sad actually.
I would like to know why everything stopped at for Western Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Why there's no more going on in the news about it? I mean, it can't be old news.
They're too busy focused on the fires, man.
Yeah.
All that nonsense here. I mean, it's not nonsense. I shouldn't downplay it. And then those winds are picking up again. So
yeah, they've come up with something else to distract our attention away from other things that are as important. Yes.
I mean, this power plant's on fire now.
The Amish from Pennsylvania came down to build houses. Carolina's government said you can't, and they said, "Fuck you, we are," and they did.
Well, sometimes that's the way you got to be, though. I mean, because it's a lot of game playing going on. I had a lot of issues with FEMA during several storms that I've worked with them at, and FEMA's an interesting beast. Once you learn how the system works, it's a little easier to deal with them. But in the beginning, it's chaos, and you don't know what the hell's going on. And I always tell people, find someone who's been through it, and they can help guide you through it. Because it is a pain in the ass. I mean, they want all kind of shit. They want to know all kind of shit. But if you get what you want, you do it fast, you'll get your money fast. They don't fuck around once they start issuing it. They'll issue it, and they'll come around within 30 days and look at your damage. To put it in perspective, they came around. One of my cars got flooded. It was just it was actually a car I was giving my son. They sent me a check for $22,000 in 3 days. It was at my house. And
you know what I'll tell you though, man, because this is kind of along the lines of the work that I do. People don't really know their rights when it comes to FEMA and what you can.
Yeah, that's very true.
Take care of. I mean, there's programs that'll replace your appliances if they get burned out from like lightning or something. It doesn't have to be a large natural disaster, but if you call them, they're not going to tell you that. And most people don't even know about FEMA. Like regular old people, if they go into a disaster, they're not thinking about. They'll think of DSS. They'll think of other lower level agencies or different. I shouldn't say lower level state agencies, but they're not going to think about the big federal FEMA that is there for them. It's there for them, but it's a shame, that because there's a lot of people who suffer. They don't have to, because there is some funding out there for them, but I don't know. But in LA, it's an interesting situation because you got insurance companies, man, that are already like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And like what you said, Joe, you predicted they're going to go bankrupt, and those insurance agencies in the state, because like the national agencies, they're all divvied up by the state. So the state of California insurance agencies, hey man, if you get these high $400, $500, $600 billion bills from $40-60 million houses, they all went up in flames. It's just it's an unbelievable large area that burned. And most of those houses belong to very wealthy people.
It is.
Yeah. And then a lot of insurance companies didn't like to write insurance. Well, the funny thing is a lot of those wealthy people rent those mansions out. They rent them out. But they get burned out anyway. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But my heart goes out for all that animals that suffer. There's so much continuing from absolute 100% government failure. Yeah, natural disaster, of course. Fire, wind, of course. But government failure on every level from a bunch of arrogant people. They're so selfish, self-righteous, narcissistic, arrogant types, and then they don't care about looking to the future of how they're going to protect their communities, which is their damn job. That's their job. They had one damn job: protect the community. Right?
Then boy, they blew that job to shit in hell.
Well, yeah, I think most people will agree that there's going to be some corruption and or negligence trials coming up.
Oh yeah,
without question.
I can't see that it's not. I mean,
are feeling it, aren't they? They're all feeling it because they're the ones getting burned out. They can replace. Sure, if you're rich, you can replace your house. But when your house burns down and you lose all of your stuff, all your memories, all of it, that's different. That's different, and then I've never seen it. Have you guys ever seen devastation like that?
No.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Unprecedented in all of our lifetimes.
I've seen tornadoes rip through places and fires rip through places. Never have I seen a carpet effect of just, in houses, not even like, all right, roof is burned, this burned. No, I mean, gone, burned down, maybe gone. Standing. It's just incredible.
Well, even worse. I've got friends over there. John Goodwin. I got a friend from high school, a friend from college that live out there, and the pictures they're sending back. The pictures of from John's office in downtown Hollywood are damn frightening. It's like the whole hill is on fire. The sky is orange,
but the trees and bushes are still there. Like, how does that even happen?
The sky is orange. It looks like Armageddon. The whole.
How does it even happen that the plants are still there?
Yeah,
in the hills, I know the trees burned. I'm talking about just around the houses and all that. Like, what the houses were they made of lighter fluid? You know what I mean? Like just house goes up, tree is there. I figured that out, man. But whatever. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just watching what's happening.
There is some weird stuff going on.
We got a break coming up.
Yeah, we got a couple things coming up. We got two things I got to cue, but we're gonna cue this up first, I think. Maybe we're going to cue this up.
Put some AC/DC on, man. What happened to those hillbillies?
Wait. There ain't no music, my friend. Sorry.
Ding, ding. Those hillbillies. They're cool, man. The guy rides up on a lawnmower.
Yeah, they are good. They are good. I like them.
That's all right. Oh, I know who y'all talking about.
I've drive down the road, but I'll put it on the show.
All right, let's see this one first before we go to put a different one on. But this one's only 2 minutes. This is gonna be real quick, and then we're gonna put something else on. But did I have it in the right place? Let me go see. No, I did not. Look at that.
This one, Kamala Harris gets the statue up, gets the oath.
I haven't seen this. What the hell did I put on here? Sorry, guys.
You done find the woke people and put them on there. Oh my God.
That's gonna really leave it at that.
Pledge of allegiance. Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, that one, dude. Somebody else has I think this guy just wanted to hear himself play the guitar. There's a lot of you screaming ones, man.
The woke people would be driven back down.
This would have been Shawn and Jay if Pennsylvania would have went the other way.
Where the hell are these guys anyway?
I wish you wouldn't have all this noisy ass music in here, but. Give yourself a hemorrhoid, man. Quit that shit.
Are these all Biden lovers?
God, she's kind of scary, man.
Oh my God.
Oh man, good thing my heart still beats as he did after these days. It's like a girl thing. Oh shit! Sorry, anyway.
It's not having access to 1 million industrial.
You gotta tell them, man. They were definitely flipping out on that one. What's that, Ginger? Yeah, no, they there's a lot like that. I mean, there's a. Oh yeah, which is this the one I was looking for? Let me see. This might be it. Well, we're gonna. I don't know which. We'll let y'all just watch whatever she's got on that one. But there was one particular one I wanted y'all to watch. No, that's one we just seen. Oh, this bitch. Anyway, we're not gonna go there. Oh, Howard dick face nerd.
No.
Howard dick face. Oh, this one's breaking a hole in a TV set. No, let's go back up to the top. It'll just be easier to keep track of. So anyway, guys, we're gonna be going. We're not gonna play this whole clip because it's about 15 minutes on. We're gonna play the. We're going to take a break for about 8 minutes and we'll be back. So y'all just take a listen. Ooh, 4.6 million people already listened to it. Oh, she's got the crazy bitch on there. So let's see what happens. Pump the screen up, pop the screen up. Did it pop up?
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well. As for this next lass, I'm not sure where she is today.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole place to the ground.
And this woman is too
Burn,
old
baby,
to be
burn.
this stupid, but sadly, leftism and TDS can leave the sufferer delirious, delusional, and dangerously stupid.
You voted for a racist, a rapist, a dictator. You voted for a bully, a bigot, and a narcissist. Even the Germans tried to warn us, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the
historians,
the
disinformation on her.
the educators, and the intellectuals. Of course not, because Dictatorship 101 is to convince you to distrust the media, the educated, and to create an us versus them mentality.
It's always the dimmest folk who go on about educated experts. If you're wondering why these lefties are so triggered, so shocked by reality, so out of touch with their fellow Americans, well, it could be because they consume the type of media I'm about to show you now. Here are some of our favourite media leftists who were convinced that Donald Trump was toast, that Kamala was going to win and win easily.
In my humble view, lights out.
Please welcome back the next president of the United States.
I think it's going to be a blowout, actually. I don't think it's going to be a close race. I think there are going to be those Republicans that just
Didn't she get fired?
It'll be tied on election day, as always it will. The polls will be tied, and then he'll lose.
You call us trash? Oh, J.D. Vance, you just stepped up in a way that I've never seen in my political life, and I worked for Sarah Palin.
I would say take Harris over 270 electoral votes. Let these fools in these crypto markets do something. Let them drive the betting line into a favorable place and then take advantage of it. That's what I would do. I think she's going to win.
You wrote Trump is toast. You stand behind that today?
Take your
even
advice.
more so. I feel the same way that I felt a few weeks ago that Trump is toast.
And they're not taking the loss well. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View lashing out at white women without college degrees.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding.
You dumb bitch.
Latino men
I can't believe y'all can let her get away with that.
more for him.
How does she know that?
Awful women and Latino men. How dare they think for themselves? By the way, the exit polls showed that the majority of married men, unmarried men, and married women voted for Trump. It was the unmarried women who backed Kamala. What was it that J.D. Vance said about that
women.
group? And Sunny also made some absurd claims about losing her civil rights. The desperation to be a victim is strong in this one.
I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember
what rights have been taken away from us, you moron?
In his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed.
And the perpetually aggrieved
You should talk
also
about
want
Sunny.
greater
Show and date Sunny.
censorship. They want to curb free speech on social media, so a Democrat never loses again.
Well, it would help if if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social
get
media.
any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Now to MSNBC's Joy Reid, who's always having a normal one. Here she claims that Florida is a fascist state.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right-wing fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place?
Oh dear. And if you're in the habit of consuming media like that,
people have been to Florida, it's not like that. Just tell you later.
When Donald Trump
really
has
nice,
a landslide victory.
People are really nice too. They're not like these crazy.
Have rights tomorrow. Yeah, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up on my plane.
That blew me away.
Anyone else having a meltdown? I don't know how to do this. Right now, I'm just not. I can't deal with this right now. I am 48 years old and I have never experienced anything like this and never thought I would in this country. I'm so stressed. I don't know how to handle this.
Oh, I'm so sad. But the best reaction goes to this joke star. This is superb work.
I'm literally shaking right now.
Uh-oh.
I'm a trans woman with a baby on the way.
Oh my God.
What am I going to do? Keep it?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Now, that was parody. I'm not sure if this next video is. I suspect it could be real. It's hard to tell nowadays.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing.
Close your eyes.
Jesus Christ. I'm so up.
Ew.
God damn it.
And here is a.
I warned y'all to close your eyes.
Kamala. Is it a work of satire?
What the hell? You cannot be serious. How did I wake up to this garbage as my president? That's right, garbage. I went to bed last night and she was ahead. I woke up to this freaking nightmare. Donald Trump? How? Does America have this many Nazi Hitler following pieces of trash?
Apparently so.
And Lefties with Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, pretending she's some heroine in a Nazi film. Here she warns that we're about to enter a period of fascism. I'm so scared.
Let's say peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter.
But none of that happened. None of that happened last time.
When did we start shooting their Navy equipment? That's not code.
There's her name, Rita.
Now is Lia Shawn, Newsweek deputy opinion editor and author of Second Class: How the Elites Betrayed America's Working Men and Women. And Batia, you nailed it in your book. You explained the Trump phenomenon and the political realignment that sees the affluent lean increasingly left towards the Democrats, and working class people, aspirational Americans, the middle class, go to the right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've seen a massive political realignment in America along class lines. So the biggest divider in America did the Democrats.
The data
the world. Problem here is this, Rita. You had the Democrats running on a made-up problem, which is that there was going to be a national abortion ban, which Donald Trump very clearly, their grievances.
This program, thanks so much.
All right, thanks so much. You're good. Thank you, lady. Get out of here. Don't let the dog kick you in the ass. Welcome back, everyone. No, we've just been playing these clips. So we'll over the next couple of weeks, we'll be playing more. And there's some really good ones with NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. A couple of people in CNN, I thought they were going to start crying. I mean, these are supposed to be professional reporters. Scott Jennings did a pretty good job of helping them get through it. Even though he's a conservative guy, he was still kind of helping them. Like,
Dude,
y'all really suck.
They're all mentally disturbed, man. I mean, did you watch that? You listen to these people?
But they're so convinced that like the world is going to explode because he's going to do some weird
thing. AOC, she exploits it. They exploit mentally ill people. They exploit them. They use them, man. They lie to them. They tell them all these crazy things. And then you saw her. She's a very wealthy woman. So's that Sonny Holston. These people are that top 1%.
Sonny might not be for long, though.
They don't feel what goes on out there. They live in the limousine world. They're not in the streets with the people, in the stores with the people. Come on, man. They're all a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah, Melania slapped $150 million lawsuit against Sonny.
Good.
And Fetterman.
Oh yeah, and oh yeah, they're like, screw this. We're not playing this game. So last I heard, she was off the View. I don't know if she's back, but last I heard she was off.
They're trying to revamp because their ratings are so terrible and they have the most horrible.
No, Trump's back. See, the problem is everybody's scrambling.
None, no credibility.
So people like us, we don't have to scramble, but CNN is scrambling. They don't know where to go. They know liberalism isn't it anymore. The country's not going there. Even the liberals are kind of like, yeah, this really sucks. Y'all kind of suck. This all sucked. We got our asses handed to us, but a guy with 34 felonies, this just sucked. It should have never happened. It wouldn't matter who they ran. They were still going to lose, and they knew it now. Their best chance out of all the candidates they could have had was Shapiro. And, I've been listening now. Them talk about it the way it should have been handled, and it just wasn't. Most of them just didn't like her. She just wasn't a palatable candidate, and frankly, she never spoke. At least Shapiro would have been out there talking. He'd have made himself look good, but he would have suffered a same hurt. Even though Pennsylvania is his home state that's doing well, that ear shooting off of Trump's ear and him standing up, it would be hard to beat, man. That symbolism with that blood is just so hard to beat. But at least Shapiro would have, and he probably would have took his state, barely. But Trump would have still took Wisconsin and the other ones. It wasn't for the Democrats, and it wasn't because Shapiro would have been a bad candidate. America just wasn't trusting the Democrats. It wouldn't matter who they put up.
Democrats have done a lot of damage to this
country. They lost
they
the middle class, and when they did that, it was
victims. Murder victims, rape victims, theft victims. They've just looked the other way and let criminals do what they want, hurt our police, hurt our fire. They've done the most terrible things, almost like you've hired the enemy to destroy you. That's exactly how I feel, man. That these people they just want to destroy. They don't want to create. They don't want to defend. They're not there for the working class, like they say. I don't know what the hell the motivation is. Really, there's no common sense behind it, And I'm not Mr. Conservative either, but damn, they have done a terrible job of everything that they've touched, And then I don't blame people for not wanting to vote Democrat.
That will fall for losing New York if they get it, because the amount of red in New York doubled this year. If it does it again, they're done. New York goes back to the red.
It was Cuomo talking about running for mayor of New York City. They did a poll and they put him really up there high against every other possible candidate. It'd be funny, man, if Cuomo did. New York's a very powerful city, man. So but whatever, man.
Right now, I think a Republican could win the New York mayor's office with all the corruption going on.
Republicans have been mayor before in New York. Giuliani.
Giuliani went crazy. What happened to him? I mean, he just he should have just retired gracefully.
Pataki was governor. Things were good under Pataki. No complaints.
I heard Krispy Kreme again talking today how we were all in so much trouble. Trump's here now, and we're all going to die.
He's an embarrassment, that dude. I mean, he should be worried about his calories.
Well, he's not anymore. He's not in politics, right?
Trump killing him, I think that his own mouth is going to catch up to him.
I mean, does he hold any position anywhere? I mean, what does he do? Just sit on the fat beach and eat Krispy Kreme donuts?
That's all he does. Every time he runs for something, he loses.
What's his name from New Jersey? I call him Krispy Kreme.
Christie.
Yeah, ex-Governor Crispy. Yeah, I still can't break calling him Crispy. I don't know. He should keep his mouth shut. I don't see where he's done anything to help anybody. That's like an AOC always drop a thing on her page. Well, if Trump was so bad, why weren't we fascists last time he was in office? Did you forget he was in office? I always like to remind Democrats, he was in office last time. None of that happened. Why? I mean, if that's what's going to happen this time, why didn't it happen last time? Oh, well, he's unchecked this time. He's unhinged. He's unfeathered. I think he's calmer and more relaxed this time.
Yeah, I agree. And I think
nobody's
all the rumors were true. If all the rumors were he was going to take over, this wouldn't have
happened. I have to salute. Every time I see this flag, I feel the need to salute.
Nobody's fighting each other now. And like it wasn't like it was the first time you won. There's no momentum to all of that, to Antifa and all that nonsense. Nothing. You have the wackos out there who are always going to be wackos. Now they're going back into their parents' basements. We're not going to hear from them. We're not going to hear from them because they're not going to. Media doesn't want to focus on them anymore. Woke is dead.
Yeah, look at the red in California.
What people are going to?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. If you go to the
Look
county
at
level,
the red in Oregon.
you're looking at the county levels. That it's even worse than people think and realize. Look at this. This is Minnesota. So
As these rural counties. See, that's what's happening now. I didn't think the cities didn't count on this. The rural counties are starting to double and triple in population, and they're staying conservative.
Pennsylvania has quite. This was almost the same. That when Biden won, this was blue. This was blue. This was not. Only these parts were blue, right here and here, and these three parts. So everything has changed. Here's New York. New York was almost.
Look at it.
Look at that.
That's what they were saying. In all the states, Trump almost doubled the amount of red.
Long Island went all Republican. Not so Suffolk County. All Republican. Think about that. All red.
Maybe that's how we should do it. We should do our Go ahead, I'm listening.
All red, though. I mean,
Jay really misses the polls. He really does. And
I miss the interactive map because the map. I mean, when we were calling the election, this was lighting up like a damn Christmas tree. It was awesome, but
that is one of the nice things about doing the 24 lefties losing it. So like we'll do one, we'll break it up through our show. So because it's about probably half hour, 40 minutes long. So we'll break it up through a show. But they come on, so it's like CNN. We'll do them first. MSNBC, they'll come on, they're talking, but you get to watch as they're lighting up behind them. And Georgia just called, South Carolina called. Look, Georgia called. And the whole time you're listening to them tell you why. Harris could probably win, but they're always saying the same thing. Oh man, man, if Pennsylvania goes, that's it. She's done. There's no way for her to get there. She's done. She's done. She sure enough,
outperformed Biden in the previous election in any of those places.
Wait, but there was 18. They're talking about this the other night. Even the Democrats were talking about this. 18 million different votes. It's hard for people to consume this. There's no way that was that many more votes.
They should have had a primary. Biden should have stepped down way earlier, way earlier, man. I mean, like last year earlier, saying, I'm not up to it, whatever he's got to say. I don't see it in my future, or whatever.
But no, see, why would he have done that? Because he won the primary. He was challenged. Don't forget. He was challenged.
He didn't stepped out at that point because everybody knew about his health.
But he won.
Knew about his mental condition.
He won the debate. He did what? He did 3 debates. He won the debates.
I don't think Trump would have lost because he had the momentum.
Trump wasn't going to lose.
People are sick. They're disgusted. They're angry. They're afraid. And fear will make you run to places you never thought you'd even run. But
see, because any other candidate he'd have been running against would have ran through the whole campaign with him. By the time we got to the gunshot thing, that would have put Trump over in the last couple of weeks. And there was a couple of things that happened after that, like the one in Florida, that would have put him over. Nobody would have caught him after that. The only reason Harris even had a shot was because it was such a short thing. There was still all of that Hollywood honeymoon shit going on.
Well, I called it as soon as the bullet hit. I mean, it was a key state that we'd been talking about for a long time. It's a lot of points. Was it 19 points for the electoral college to win the state? And I said that's it. That won him the election. Just the fact that he got shot in Pennsylvania,
and that was the worst part.
And the fact he got shot in the ear and survived, he won the election.
And that was the worst part. Fetterman told him this. Fetterman told him from that point forward, he kept saying, "You're not reading the state correctly. This state has gone for Trump." He said, "Everywhere I go in blue areas where I'm out there, pushing," he said, "these people are telling me they're going to vote for Trump."
Which is why during the Biden, the first Biden Trump battle, I was shocked driving through. I'm South Central. I'm like right at the bottom of the state. I'm literally right on the Maryland border, and driving through the central southern part of Pennsylvania. It's all agriculture, all rural. There's like farms everywhere, and every house has Trump Vance in front of it. Every house, and
yeah, because this wasn't like 2016. People weren't.
It shocked me that they didn't win. I was so.
Let me tell you, in 2020, right? I drove across the country and I drove across the entire state of Pennsylvania. It was Trump signs everywhere.
They were everywhere in the backcountry.
People made their own signs. They were huge, man. They had them hanging on wires and whatever. They made them. I mean, so you would think that whole state would have gone Trump, 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 no problem, man.
If you look at the election results for 2016 in Pennsylvania, all of the outlying counties are red. The only ones that are blue are Erie, Pittsburgh. Wilkes-Barre.
Pittsburgh's going to be red.
And
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Those are going to be blue. I mean, that's just little holdouts.
Those 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, maybe it's 10, a total of 10 counties out of 72. 10 counties out of 72.
Well, see, that's what I was saying earlier. Now, cities are slowing down now because cities outnumber. What is Philadelphia? You got 2 million people in it, million and a half people in it. So you know how many counties you have to get to 2 million people? Several.
Of people, 70 counties of people, and they're beaten
all right.
by
So let's say there's 2 million or 3 million in Philly. So that's probably about 20 counties right there. You got to have 20 counties to make up them 3 million. And let's say there's another 2 or 3 million Pittsburgh. So that's another 20 counties. So you're already up to 50. So there's only got that 20 counties. And if there's 2 or 3 other blue strongholds,
that's what I'm saying. There's
big
only
populations.
5 or 6 counties around Philadelphia that went blue. 5 or 6.
That's all you need. I mean, all you have to hit is that section, the dense part where it's 2 or 3 million people, and bam. I mean, that's
you gotta just tilt the scale. Tilt the scale. You just have to.
Hey Siri, how many people live in Pittsburgh?
Trump met with Fetterman, and he said that Fetterman's a common sense guy.
Like 300,000, ain't that many?
Fetterman's a mixed bag. I don't think he's not some dippy liberal.
In 2023, the population of Philadelphia was 1,550,500.
Yes, that's still not that big.
It's bigger.
Well, how many people live in Pennsylvania? Ask it.
Hey Google, how many people live in the state
15?
of Pennsylvania?
I'm gonna say 7 million.
The population of Pennsylvania was 12,961,600.
Shit! Well, Trump should have won, man. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. The county. There are 72 counties. 8, 9, 10 of them.
That makes it even worse when you start talking about election problems there.
That small amount can't overwhelm 70 counties worth of people.
How many people are in Pittsburgh?
Huh?
300,000.
Really?
Yeah, 300,000. Yeah, we just talked about it. And what he said, 1.5 million in Philadelphia.
And how many Dexters do we have in Pittsburgh?
Just the one. We don't want to talk about just Dexter guy.
Allentown.
I didn't understand.
Living here in Allentown. They're about to shut
Sandra said we can't call you Dexter, man. She said you're too sweet. We can't call you Dexter.
No,
Pennsylvania's got a lot of nice flavors.
Stand that I'm gonna call him Dexter. You know that,
pretzel.
I might have let it slide. Now you'll be able to.
All kinds of Dutch type of stuff.
When I see Michelle, grins
we're known for
Dexter shows me being pretty good.
With potato chips, kettle corn, kettle cooked chips. Anything you can think of that you can consider a comfort food came probably from or through the state of Pennsylvania.
I like that Amish market, that one over there.
Oh yeah,
I did hear Pennsylvania.
The Amish, man,
don't deal with the English.
Apple tarts, no shit, they're a pound.
I gotta say, I seen them out in their little carts with their Trump signs all over, running up and down the streets all over the big cities. That shit was crazy, man. I mean, they were in the big cities. Trump signs are blowing. I was like, look at this shit, man.
That's awesome.
They got people to vote for Trump just because they were crazy enough to go do that.
Amish, man, they have some awesome baked goods. Awesome.
They got some good butter. We get
it's all natural.
We get Amish butter in the rolls like this. Yeah. Nice. But they used to only be $6. Well, now they're probably like 16. But thanks to who, Mr. Biden. Yes.
What's the Amish market that I go to locally?
3 more days. Just 3 more days. It's probably less than
everything there is quality. So
30 hours or so, maybe less than that.
It's less than that.
Dun, 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 dun. You heard what Johnson said. The flags will be at full staff, buddy.
Just for the inauguration.
Well, that's all I need to be.
2 days, 11 hours, 19 minutes, 25 seconds until
so what is it?
Inauguration Day.
So 36 hours. So no, man, I'm going to stay home. It's going to be freezing cold here anyway. I'm going to watch the inauguration. I'm going to break out some Crown Royal and have a couple of sips.
Crown Royal.
I'm going to get up tomorrow.
Something smooth. That Canadian whiskey is so smooth.
One of those.
No. What's that, Jesse? No, see, I used to. No, I'm not allowed to drink Jack Daniels now. I'm banned from Jack Daniels for life.
Come on, Crown whiskey. You got to do a little better than that.
No. I'm not allowed. Jack just gives me this weird, like, let me kill you. I don't give a fuck who you are. Just let me kill you. So I'm not allowed to drink Jack.
Jack Daniels is
I had people. I was at a bar one night. I was drinking Jack and Coke with shooting Jack inside, and somebody did like see my monitor moving about like that. I fucking decked them, dropped them, put them over the bar stool, flipped them over the back. Thank God the owner of the bar was a friend of mine. I messed him all up.
Pot, man. You never see potheads fight. Like, never in my life. I was in the club business. I was in all kinds of shit. I've never seen potheads.
But Michael, you will hear this.
Else involved, alcohol, cocaine, whatever. But pot.
I know, man. You took my pie. I might be whipping your ass, man.
I've never seen
a story, but all my life. For the most case, when it's a pothead talking, like, you know what, dude? If I wasn't so high, I'd be hitting you right now.
Oh, yeah, look at that. What's that fight like? Hey, dude.
Yeah, dude, if I wasn't so high, I'd punch you in the face.
Dude.
Let's give Bob a sip. Hold on, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
The guy said they don't like us to drink alone.
Don't
Bob,
do it, Bob. Remember the last time?
No abducting after. When you give him liquor, he grows all his skin back. So no abducting people after this.
But it wasn't
no abducting people.
Remember?
That's right. It is a little scary. Maybe you should go up there and put your eyes. Oh, look, his eyes are already starting to come in his head. Look
his eyes are starting to glaze over. Oh no.
He's growing eyes again. Let's just set him down. We don't let him grow no more than that. What's that, Stephanie? No, you see this bottle, right? Do you see this bottle, Stephanie? Just tell you how much I drink right here. So I bought this bottle in Los Angeles 4 years ago. I was drinking with some very famous artists. I'm not going to mention their names. And, one of them was Larry Elmore. I'll tell you that. He's the Dragon guy. But one of them is a host on this network, Echoturnic, so I can mention her name too.
Yeah.
So that's how long it's been sitting back there. Oh no! When I was young, I was a full-blown alcoholic.
You better tell everybody that they're not our sponsor, or else the boss lady will get mad.
Yes, Crown is not a sponsor, and if you want them to be a sponsor, you can make a donation to the network, and that will help them to be a sponsor. No, yes, really, yes. You need to donate. I'm telling you, y'all don't start donating. I'm gonna sell this to Clearwater, and y'all just be getting like whatever they do over there. They're weird people over there. What? No, I'm not going anywhere. I love this station. You fucking stupid. I have entirely too much fun screwing with entirely too many people. And it took me a long time to build the size audiences we have across the world that we have. It's a lot of fun to mess around with these people. What U.S. audiences? Well, they're okay. I mean, it just depends what you're talking about, what night you're talking about. But anyway, yes, Jesse, it's UPRandTalkRadio.com. Big donation button up there. Click it to go by. No, whatever you want. We don't give you no set prices and nothing. We don't care. Whatever you feel like. 50 cents, $1, 500,000. Whatever you feel like. 63 million would be nice. And then I could pay these guys. They would all have a freaking orgasm.
Yeah.
I send them a check. They'd be like, "Whoa, what?"
$10. I'll be
I'm
happy.
coming to join you.
Oh shit! Speaking of this, man, I want to know where my fucking Facebook money is. So that last lawsuit, I was supposed to be getting money out of them. Some other lawsuit, I was supposed to be getting money out of some credit card guy hacked. Some fucking bank guy.
Lawyer. He probably stole it from you.
No, they're doing it. Big fucking class action suit.
Call their tracer lawyers. He probably stole it from you.
Facebook goes, so when Facebook writes to me, they say, well, you'll get from $5 to $5,000. I'm like, how many websites do you have? 14?
Oh, my, you get like $5.01.
The guy writes me back and goes, 14? I said, yeah, we have 14 websites. How many of those are your personal? One, right? I said, no, I have 3 personals. You have 3 personals? I said, yes, sir, I have 3 personals. And I said, each one of those contains X amount of Facebook pages. I said, but we have 14 pages all together. And he's like, wow, I don't know if that. I said, just whatever. Here's all the information. Then that's been like a year, man. I guess I need to find out what's going on with that. And then there's been a couple dealing with like Capital One and Chase and some other people. Banks suck these days. I'm not digital money. I'll tell you, this was one of the big stakes I could cry about in my entire life if I was a crybaby. So a friend of mine, about 20 years ago, said, hey, Joe, I want you to buy this. He said, it was like 15 cents a coin. So I want you to buy 5,000 coins. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It was Bitcoin. Do you know how much money I'd be worth today if I bought 5,000 coins?
We'd be getting paid every week.
Shit, we'd be getting paid. We'd be going on vacations together down in the Bahamas, man.
Probably wouldn't have to work, Sean.
I know.
That's how big Bitcoin is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So live and cry. But in all fairness, I did later on.
Guys making podcasts.
Yeah, I did later on after that, around 2015. I did buy 100 of them. It's they've been long gone.
We all have our Bitcoin.
I wish I'd had them today where they're at 100,000 a coin.
My friend Frank tried getting me to buy 20 of them for like $175 back in like 2000.
No.
And I was like, "You're crazy! I'm gonna lose my money."
If you think about it, like the old idea that Marty
fake money. How can you buy fucking fake money? It kills me.
But if I could go back now, knowing what I know about what companies have survived the COVID thing, going back in the past and buying shares in like most of the paper products, Bounty and other toilet paper making companies, and buying into stocks into like Lowe's and Home Depot. These are the companies that thrived throughout the COVID experience. So coming out the other end of that, you'd be sitting very pretty if you bought in early, like I'm talking like 70s, 80s. Home Depot started in 1978. Lowe's started in 1942. Think about how many shares you could have bought if you were, of the age.
There's companies, and there's certain companies. If you'd have just bought $100, you'd be.
You could go back.
I was looking
Amazon
at
alone.
Yeah, time.
If I knew what I know now, and I was in the service, and an ounce of gold was only $200. That was it. An ounce of silver was $7. And if I would have started collecting, and right now I think gold's over 2,000 and silver is what,
35
or
40.
30. I'd be rich. And then I kick myself every day when I think about that.
When I was in the store during the COVID, the whole thing, the product we were out of the most was cleaning products, cleaning sprays, and paper towels and toilet paper. They were out. All of these things, those same products, cleaning sprays, and all the paper products for them. Toilet paper, tissue, facial tissue, toilet tissue, you name it. Out of stock for months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months at a time. And I kept telling customers when they came in, I was like, look, if you were smart enough and right before this happened, you bought into a paper product company, you'll be sitting pretty after the end of this pandemic. And anyone who did do that is sitting very pretty right now.
I remember when that happened, that the boss just put 2 pallets of toilet paper out in the middle of the aisle. And oh my God, it was like Black Friday.
Have you ever seen them drop a cow carcass into the Amazon where they know there's an active school of piranha? That's what it was like. and then it was gone.
Oh man, it was like Black Friday, man, all over again.
It's gone. And there was like maybe one little corner of one toilet
See,
paper.
now you know why I live in the South. We're respectable down here. We don't do stuff like that, man.
Oh, it was horrible, Joe. People were horrible.
I'll get my deck.
We had a sign. They gave all of us to put on our apron. They gave us a plastic laminated card that said, "Please stand 6 to 8 feet away from me." And then you would go up and you had a mask. They made us wear a mask, and you ask the customer, "Hey, can I help you find something?" And the customer would be 6 to 8 feet away. Then they would see you and go immediately. They would go like this, pull their mask down, and go, "Yes, I need blah, 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 blah," and like start spitting in your face. Like, dude, no,
Speaking of that, Biden's talking about politically freaking pardon
I
Fauci.
can't tell you how scary it was. I mean, people were just.
He might get away with it too. I mean, but I'm hoping now that somebody brought up the fact that if we're saying, because a couple of people have said some of these pardons, some of the stuff that he's doing kind of borders on treason. And maybe they're thinking that, he's lost his mental abilities altogether, and all the stuff he's done should be reversed. Yeah. So I mean, I've never seen anyone reverse a pardon before. Executive orders, yes, but pardons, no. So
and he also wants to pardon. I think he's going to pardon.
As you know, that's the people pulling the strings. I mean, he probably didn't wake up saying, "I'm going to pardon this person, that person." He didn't even know who the hell they are, man. This is the stuff they're making him do, using him as a puppet, which is questionable. The whole thing is questionable. The whole thing should be investigated. His last several months, all the people who covered up his mental problems and all that, it needs to be investigated.
I have a feeling that Trump staff is definitely going to look into that stuff. They're going to see what those 2,500 criminals, whether they were lawfully incarcerated or whether they were serving, what did he say? He said inordinately long sentence compared to what they would be getting if they were caught today.
He let terrorists go. Terrorists at Guantanamo Bay.
That's what I'm saying.
The people who are killers.
There were terrorists who were nonviolent. Did you let them go too, idiot? I'd like to see.
All right, what were you saying, Sean? I couldn't hear you. Big Mouth started talking.
See what Adam Schiff was trying to get out of Pam Bondi during her thing.
I didn't see it today.
If what he was trying to ask her was, will she prosecute who was it, Liz Cheney or the other dude, Jack Smith?
Smith,
yeah. He was scared talking to her, man, because she
might probe his ass.
He does not know what's going to happen to him. And that Thune, right? What's his name? Thune? He will not put him on no committee until after the Russia thing. Did you know that?
No, that's well, that's good. You don't need to be any damn committees. And the Jack Smith thing, she said, I heard what she said. She said, well, we don't have any political hit list. She said, but I'm not taking it off the table that I might not look into him for using his ability, using his power for political reasons.
I have a feeling that's why some of the Democrats are having such a fit. They're saying they're going to fight any of the immigration returns and what's going on with what's that guy's name? I forget now, but they're going to fight that kind of stuff with all their hard-earned money. It sounds like they're afraid to get caught, red-handed doing something, and I think it's too late.
Well, look, so look at it from the liberals' point of view. They're thinking, okay, we're skating through life. Bam, Diddy gets busted. Now, let's just take a little trip. We got a little time. Okay, so let's go back to Weinstein. Weinstein gets busted. Weinstein's got a lot of information on a lot of people. Okay.
Did he have been busted if Weinstein hadn't been busted first?
Well, so then Epstein gets busted. Oh, man. So that is way more data controlled by the FBI and whatever other agencies got their little greedy, sticky fingers on. Boom! Now we got Diddy. Oh, shit. We both know, or I should say all four of us know, that there were a lot of Democrats on that airplanes list going to Epstein's Island. And so Clinton was on there, 27 times on the plane anyway, 27 times. God knows how many other women was on there. How many people were just going to parties. And, just because you're on the list don't mean you was ho-dogging it with some Tina Bopper. but it doesn't mean you
I
weren't
don't know
either.
if your name appears on that list repeatedly, year after year, day after day, whatever that many times that list appears. Yeah, that's a concern.
So now we got this list, and then all of a sudden, while all this is going on, we got Diddy over here having these white parties going. Yeah, man, and there's so many people that crisscross over both, or I should say, all through groups here, that you got to wonder. So somewhere along the line, I think somebody decided, whoever it was, and I don't know who has this power
level and the fashion level, because he does, or I don't know if he still does, but he did at one point have fashion lines and has ties to that world as well, which is also pretty fairly messed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So all this stuff is kind of tied together. I think someone decided somewhere in the last 4 or 5 years that it was time to bring this under control. For whatever reason, they decided, look, this ain't working right. And I think it was all set up into spin to beginning with, because this gave them so much control over people. So you don't really ever hear Republicans being whooped up in this stuff. Not that Republicans aren't horn dog and don't get in trouble for shit all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For some reason, this kind of stuff they don't seem to get in trouble for. Maybe because they're Christians. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe because we just don't hear about it. But whatever it is, they just don't seem to be as involved as much as the Democrats.
Republicans generally get caught for like drugs and drunkenness and debauchery and maybe cheating on their wives, whereas the Democrats, they're trading arms with people behind the deal. They're threatening people in Ukraine if they don't let their son take certain contracts here and there in their country. I mean, that's extortion of a level that you can't actually do. I mean, that's something that Biden did before he allegedly went, amnesia-wise.
Yes. What are you talking about?
That's something that the country hasn't really had, except for him, was anti-established government. I mean,
they like that.
The guys are the establishment government. They've always been in charge. Mm-hmm. They'll lie right through your teeth. They just lie right to you, right in your face. But follow the money. Look, everything Trump said was true. Look at Bernie Sanders talking all that crap.
He did it.
Bernie Sanders is a very wealthy man. He and his wife. I mean, there's a whole saga going on, and she's been investigated by the FBI.
Oh yeah, several times.
Her dealings and whatever. Come on, man. These people, you know what? Nobody's pure. Nobody. But you are what you do, and we can judge someone
Mr. Magoo
policy and what they do, and what they say, who they represent. So they're not representing us with these terrible decisions, these horrible things they do. And people in the cities are afraid to go out. They're afraid. You pay all that money in taxes, you're afraid to go out in your own neighborhood.
Well, it is a shame, though, because it shouldn't be like that. And it is a shame that we're getting kind of screwed with Trump, because if he'd got 8 solid years, he may have been able to affect quite a bit more change. It's going to be hard in 4 years because, man.
I don't think so, Joe. I think.
Yeah, we'll see. If he keeps the House and Senate past the 2-year mark, maybe not. But if he loses one of them, it's going to be hard.
He's got this reconciliation package, which he's attaching all the fire victim crap into, but he wants to pass that right away. And that's all the stuff he's been floating, man. All or nothing. It's kind of an all or nothing type of thing.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. If Trump wants to keep the Senate in the House, Trump's only got to do 2 things to keep the House and the Senate come 2026. Make sure gas is going down by at least 50 or 75 cents a gallon, and that food is going down by at least 50 cents or 50%, or not 50%.
Yeah, about 50%.
About 25% because it's his first year. If he's done both of those things, then he'll get reelected. If he hasn't, they're going to give the House or the Senate to somebody else.
Gas prices are kind of steadied since the election, and even with the impending.
But see, they've actually going up down here all of a sudden. We were down.
Have been coming down. I have heard on the reports lately.
Yeah, food price has been coming down a little bit, but our gas price came down to $2.20. Right now, it's sitting at $2.80.
It's like $2.89 in Maryland. It's like $3.25 here in Pennsylvania.
Where it used to be $4.58.
$4.58, $5 and $5.09. Yeah, actually,
in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully everything will come down.
Well, think about this: when unleaded when the cheapest unleaded, the 83 or whatever it is, was $5 a gallon. Diesel was like $6.50 or $7.89, depending on where you were. And then I think if you went to the gas stations that have the ethanol-free gas, it was approaching $7, $8, $9 a gallon for the ethanol-free stuff.
I used to gas up in Pennsylvania before I come back to New York. When I cut down to the city, I'd go from New York to PA and then back, Jersey to New York. But that was the olden days because gas used to be cheap. Plus, PA used what they call winter gas all year long. You know what I mean? Which is better gasoline for your engine, for your vehicle. So it was good to gas up down there. I'd gas up, I'd get my fireworks, man, buy some cheese, and then boom, back in New York. You know what I mean?
All you use this for? How terrible of you. We feel.
Yeah, man.
That's right.
Yeah, Michael.
Big cheese and gasoline.
That's just wrong on so many levels. So many levels.
I will tell you this, guys. At my supermarket where I work at, they really have been getting a ton of business now ever since Trump got elected.
Oh yeah, and there's gonna and the prices just got to keep edging down a little bit. Don't have to be big all of a sudden. It just if you're paying $4 or $5 for eggs now, in a year if it's down to $3 or $2.
Speaking of that, there's eggs out here at my store, $8.99.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because we're seeing them down here for $4.50. So when Trump was president last time, they were 99 cents.
Eggs are
I
gross.
go down the street here, and there's a house that has brown eggs, and it's an honor system. I put $5 in a till, and then I can take a dozen homegrown brown eggs, and like the huge, the big fat brown eggs, not little.
My sister's got chickens, man. She's a farm with some chickens.
I'm surrounded by them, Mike.
He's always like, "Hey, you want eggs?" You know what? This is gross.
There's a farm that way going to Maryland. It's actually in Maryland. Once you get in there, that's where that farm is.
I can eat eggs if I'm like in a restaurant. I get some eggs or omelet, whatever. But like egg thing, I just can't do it anymore. I don't know why. I'm messed up, man.
I've never been able to eat eggs. It's funny.
Into Maryland, there's a guy who has a cow farm, and he's got his own butchery. He's open Monday through Friday.
All I gotta do is crack an egg and see a little baby chicken in there. It's all over.
They are.
That's it, man. I'm on tofu from then on, and that's it.
They are.
We've lost it, people. Just go ahead, Sean.
The cattle farmers that cut, you can buy a half off of or a quarter. They're like charging close to $10 a pound
for ground beef.
No, for a half a cow, a whole cow. I mean, it's crazy.
No, I don't need the whole cow or even a half cow. I just need 2 or 3
pounds. They don't sell ground meat by itself. I mean, you got to buy the whole. A quarter or
if you're going to do it like that, you got to buy a quarter or a half. But right now, we're getting. See, it's funny. If I go to the beef store and get ground meat, whether it's a store that handles a lot of different kind of local beef, I can get ground meat as cheap as $2.69 a pound, but you got to buy at least 3 pounds. Okay, no big deal. If I go to any other store around here just to go buy a pound of ground meat, it's about $5.79 a pound.
Yeah, up here.
Yeah, in our area,
that ratio you're talking about. 80%, 85, 90. I mean,
most of these are going to be 73, 27, 75, 25.
That ain't good.
I like as my base, man.
Or 80, 20. But that's the best we're going to see, 80, 20. Anything above 80, 20 is outrageous. They consider it sirloin or lean. Like a 90, 10.
I'll tell you what, if you guys want to know, 85% ground meat is best for hamburgers. It is the best for meatballs,
spaghetti sauce, cheeseburgers.
No. Spaghetti sauce, you want to go down to 80-20 on something like that. But for a good hamburger, get the 85. If you jump up to the 93, there's no fat in it.
It's too lean.
It's dried out. They are totally dried.
You got to get the beef butter, man. The beef butter. That was my name.
What are you talking about, Jenny? No, you mean a woohoo beefies. I've eaten it many times.
I was a 70s porno.
Look, I'll be honest with you about the woohoo beef. So I was in LA a couple times and we ate some $high steaks and some $high hamburgers. Okay, first off, $40 for a hamburger is just stupid. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Is it that ragu stuff or
it's that woohoo, whatever they call it, winu, weehoo, whatever the hell they call it. That Japanese.
Wagyu.
So down in LA, they sell. You can buy just the fat pound separate. It's like $10 out.
That's what it's called. Why you spend so much?
But I mean, you can literally buy just the fat, so you can add it into your other food. That's how good it's supposed to be.
Something about that Wagyu beef. If you go on YouTube, just type in Wagyu, how they treat them cows out there. Oh my God, dude! They give them massages.
Oh yeah, of course they do. It's outrageous, and then they're gonna kill them and feed them to us.
They make them watch porno. Then,
but my point is I've eaten it many times. You know, it's well marbled. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't find there to be a solid flavor. I find there to be kind of
it's gross, dude.
It's kind of a lighter flavor. Now you got to understand, I've grown up on a combination of feed-fed, grain-fed, black Angus, white-faced black Angus. I mean, it's a big cow down here, and it's beautiful steaks, beautifully marbled, and the beef is always fabulous tasting. And fuck you, James. I ain't never eaten no more sage beef, desert fucking beef ever again. That's the nastiest shit. You people out in Nebraska, you need to go find out what a real steak tastes like.
Sage?
Oh no, yeah, they so a big part of their diet is sage.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you about Nebraska.
It's nasty, man.
Well, you can't find steak in Nebraska to save your life. You can't, unless you go to Outback. Believe it or not, Outback's got some good steaks. I won't knock them, man. I didn't think I would like it, but actually, I've had good steaks at Outback, man. As a go-to if it's there. But I'm saying, like, when I was on the road and I was looking for a good steak, I got one in Texas and one in Colorado, Las Vegas. You could definitely get good steaks all day long. Yeah. But Nebraska, it was hard to find anything like that.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well,
I had a really nice Russian purple sage growing outside of my house in Myersville, not far in Maryland, not far from here. And I made a few sage steaks with it. It was quite yummy. I mean, you got to be careful with it. You can't throw it right away, but it doesn't
slap him. Just slap him, Sean. Just slap him around.
You'll like it too.
The man is giving you shit, Jay, man. I mean, he's like grossing him out.
Steaks, man, with and without sage.
Oh my God! Salt, pepper, seasoned salt. That's all you need.
So if you ever get like Omaha beef and them sell these steaks, the meat has a funky taste to them. And I'll tell you what, when you get this meat we get down here that's on this molasses grain, this shit is fucking fabulous, man. It's tender, beautifully flavored. It's great meat. And I'm making you hungry. I'm making myself hungry. Shut up. Okay. It's it's one of the nice things about living in the South. A lot of our vegetables and a lot of our beef and a lot of our chicken and pork are local. So we know where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Texas? Oh no, Texas is ridiculous with their steaks. Oh well, if you eat this 126-ounce steak or this ribeye, we'll give you it's free. Yeah, after you have a fucking coronary.
So it's a 72-ounce steak you have to eat within like 58 minutes.
Last time I was there, it was 96
hours usually.
Joe and I stopped there on the way to Utah. It was 96 ounces. I was like, "You get out of here with that."
96 is another one, yeah.
I'm not. There's no way I'm even tempted.
They say like grass-fed and grain finished, like all cows are. You know what I mean? Like you want the grass-fed, grass finished.
No, you don't. That's the grossest type of beef in the world. The grass. Because no, I'm seriously, man.
They're feeding crabgrass.
We would cut that nature, just grass fed. That's it. That meat on that steak is so flimsy. It's gross, man.
I know. I mean, the local place I buy meat from, that's what they do, and they grow locally, and it's all their cows.
Well, what they do down here is they'll feed a special kind of grass. Usually, it's a winter rye or another kind of grass, up until 6 months before slaughter, and after that, it is simply nothing but grain. There is no grass being fed to them cows anymore. Matter of fact, one of the jokes is when it starts to shit go, it's close to slaughter time. It's one of those things that and it's serious, and it does make a big difference in the way the beef tastes. I mean, I've eaten them both ways, and it's definitely better all the way around. It's just a better way. And even when they're letting the meat grass, though, a lot of times they're still supplementing it with grains. They're looking for a particular flavor. And, and then they're strict about what kind of grass. They can't just go out there and eat any kind of fucking grass either. I mean, these cowpoke know their shit. They've been doing this a long time.
One of the worst things you can hear is like cows going into a slaughter and like just listening to them scream. You know what I mean? Like just in line as they're going in, they're like screaming, man. It's heartbreaking. It makes you think. It makes you think about the whole thing.
Makes you think.
I don't know in any other state, but here in Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to kill them. you can zap them with electronic stuff. It knocks them out, and then you can do it. But you're not allowed to kill them. Literally kill them before they go into butchering. You're not.
As they're walking in, they know what's up, man. They know what's up. As they're walking in there. I mean, the ones waking up in line. It's terrible. It's terrible. And then after they zap them or they have this thing that goes into their brain, it just kind of hollows it out. There's still, you hear the saws, you hear all that stuff going on, man. It was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Those cows screaming, like worse than I encountered at one time. Worst thing I ever heard.
Michael, I'll tell you a story real quick. I went and I visited this meatpacking place, right? And they brought out 6 goats. Okay, 6 goats. And they all had tears in their eyes. And I looked at that and I said, I can't do this shit. I can't kill a live animal. They were literally crying, tears out of their eyes.
The goats were?
The goats were. Yep. They knew what was up.
Yeah, they know what's
up. I like goat. I don't think that would have saved their asses with me. I think it would have been adios amigos.
Goat's good.
What's that jacket? What do you mean, have I killed anything? Yes, I've killed things. Why? I was raised in a bayou. What do you? And I was raised in a bayou and in the country. What do you expect? We used to raise and slaughter our own animals.
Hey guys, I got to get going.
Yeah, speaking of that, we got to get going. It's 12:11. So
yeah, we're at the end.
What do you mean? In special forces? No, I can't tell you that.
1:11
for the Pittsburgh people and for the New Yorker. For me, it is only 12:11. After this, I'm gonna go find something to eat. We gotta go, guys.
I still have my Christmas tree up, man. I'm holding strong.
Jay, you on Mavis next week, or you just floating around?
I'm on Mavis the next 2.
Okay, so I'll be sure to check Jay.
No, next one. This was 2, so next one, and then I'm off for 3 weeks. So I got one more Mavis show. Sorry.
And then you got to be careful when Jay's not there because somebody else is there, and we love her. But
Wham, Professor Wham.
And then you can catch Shawn on Tuesdays and Sundays. By the way, your archives are posted. I just checked them a little while ago. They were up. And Michael's, he's here sometimes with us on Wednesdays. He's definitely here. Everything's going to be here with us tomorrow and Saturday, getting in trouble. We do the chat on Saturday, and
yeah,
these guys are not behaving. See, I'm all sweet and nice on this show. I'm like, and y'all, and they're all like, fuck yeah,
you're just waving your gun around the lash.
Get out of here.
Like you're kind of waving it around.
That is a good. You know what? I like this.
Fuck it, we gotta get out of here anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio News. On the flip side, until tomorrow, have some fun, enjoy your life. And you know what? Trump won, so fucking get over it.
If he goes drags, we'll